Good morning. The police are under fire over the handling of Anne Widdecombe's death.
It comes as Home Secretary Shabana Mahmood yesterday revealed counter-terrorism officers are now leading the investigation.
Circumstances of her death are extremely distressing. Counter-terrorism policing have now taken the lead in the investigation.
Well, that's after the head of UK counter-terrorism policing announced a discovery of new information and evidence.
The move comes despite the police insisting her alleged murder was not politically motivated.
Well, the government's independent reviewer of terrorism, Jonathan Hall-Casey, has also criticised Devon and Cornwall Police for effectively steering people away from the idea that this might have been terrorism that he believed was premature.
The most dangerous foreign criminals, including the Rochdale grooming gang leader Shabir Ahmed, are set to be deported as the Home Secretary announces changes to the Immigration Act.
And the Miliband brothers eye up top jobs at number 10. That's as David Miliband looks to become the next British ambassador to the United States. And wealthy Britons reportedly prepare to flee the country at the prospect of Ed Miliband becoming Chancellor.
As calls mount for the reinvention of James Bond into a woman or a black actor, we're going to be discussing whether Bond should remain traditional and stay white and male.
And in sport this morning, Will England will make a late call on Declan Rice for the World Cup semi-final against Argentina, which is tomorrow. First semi-final, Spain versus France is tonight. And in cricket, England's women suffer a heavy loss against India.
Whilst it is quite cloudy at the moment for some of us, don't be fooled, the cloud will break up and we will see plenty of sunshine, feeling hot in that sunshine as well. For more on the heat, well, stick around, I'll have the details.
Good morning, it's just gone 6 o'clock. I'm Ellie Costello.
And I'm Alex Armstrong, and this is GB News Breakfast.
The front page of the Times has caught my eye this morning. Women are not better at multitasking than men.
What? Go on.
This is contrary to popular belief. Apparently, women just appear less rude when doing it.
So this is saying that men don't have the patience for multitasking. Is that what it is?
I think that, yeah, or women mask it better.
So with a multitasking thing, so because I'll do lots of things at the same time, but I'll do lots of things badly at the same time.
Yeah, I'm a bit like that.
So does that still count as multitasking, or does it have to be well done multitasking?
No, I think it's all in the effort. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think So I'm not a very good multitasker. I get a bit flustered.
So the thing is,
you're very good at multitasking.
Do you think?
Yeah, you are.
Oh, I don't think so.
See, the thing is, though, I see you, Ellie, and you've got the plate spinning, and then that one starts to go, and then you go over there.
Yeah,
so that's the difference.
I get flustered.
It all starts to.
But apparently, women take it more in their stride. This is a study.
Apart from you.
Apart from me, yeah, right. I'm letting down this side. To be fair, it's a very small survey, so 41 men, 37 women.
That's not a big survey, is it?
Not
really?
Very big, is it? You're meant to follow a recipe, search lists of telephone numbers, match numbers and letters, and watch a slideshow of words appearing, and then somebody calls you at the same time. And men didn't cope very well with that.
To be fair, in this job, sometimes you've got that text going, you've got a breaking news story, you've got someone in your ear. There'll be an email. There'll be something going on in the background around there. Someone's fallen over, or something's happened, and you've just got to just try and be professional, which we struggle at actually. So.
There you go. There's your answer. No.
Often, yes.
So there we go.
Look, we try our best, and it's in the thought that counts.
Yeah.
We try, don't we?
Yeah, are women better at multitasking then? What do you think? Is that true?
I think they are.
I think probably.
Do you think?
Yeah, I think they are, and I think they're far more patient with it as well. I think men get frustrated very quickly.
Yeah, no, let's agree on that. We can all agree on that. A moment of harmony this morning.
Certainly.
Let us know what you think.
Yeah, gbnews.com/your say. Nanny Lulu says, I may swear a lot when multitasking. Less than hubby, though. Morning, Nanny Lulu. Lovely to see you. And there's already some thoughts coming in about James Bond. If James Bond is anything other than a white British male, the films are finished. Interesting. We will be talking about that later on in the show. Yeah,
we certainly will be. That's just after 7 o'clock this morning. Anyway, let's get on to our top story at 6:04, because counter-terrorism police are now leading the investigation into the death of Anne Widdecombe after new information and evidence came to light.
Yeah, speaking in the House of Commons, the Home Secretary Shabana Mahmood vowed to assess security advice for former MPs.
I recognise the particular concern that the Reform Party will feel today, and of course Nigel Farage, the party's leader. I'm happy to offer a meeting for Mr Farage with the chair of RAVIC, the independent body within the Home Office that manages the security of those in public life. And I will also be looking at what security guidance can be provided to former members of Parliament, which I hope to work with you on, Mr Speaker, as well as those who serve a party outside of this place.
Well, this comes after a 28-year-old white British man was rearrested on suspicion of the commission, preparation or instigation of acts of terrorism.
We're now joined by GB News Home and Security Editor Mark White, live from Devon. Mark, this is a very fast-moving and complex case now. Tell us the series of events that have led to this moment.
Well, it was a very dramatic twist in this investigation to hear news yesterday afternoon that it was now officially being taken over by counter-terrorism policing, that this man had been rearrested on suspicion of the preparation, commission or instigation of an act of terrorism, meaning that the police believe that Anne Widdecombe was murdered as a result of an act of terrorism. That is the definite line of inquiry that they're pursuing. In fact, the Home Secretary in her speech in the Commons and Assistant Commissioner Taylor from the Metropolitan Police, who's head of counter-terrorism policing, said that there were multiple lines of inquiry now that had come to light that they were pursuing. And what, of course, that means, because it is a complex terror investigation, they have more time on the clock to continue interviewing their suspect, a 28-year-old man from Rotherham who was arrested at 9 o'clock on Saturday evening, brought down to this force area for questioning. We don't know if he's still in this force area or whether detectives have had him transferred elsewhere in the meantime, but that questioning can continue for up to 2 weeks because of the complexity of counter-terror investigations, simply because the tentacles of these counter-terrorism investigations can lead far and wide. They have to interrogate, open and access computers, phones, try to establish all of the individuals a suspect may have been in contact with, looking at social media, all kinds of issues that can lead them down many different roads, and that's why they're given more time to question and detain people on terrorism offences. But all of this, of course, comes now on the back of some criticism from Devon and Cornwall Police, or for Devon and Cornwall Police, for the way in which they had handled the press and the media around the investigation, because really from Friday, when we were told that this was now a murder inquiry, we were steered quite heavily away from terrorism, political motivation as being, you know, a potential motivation for the murder of Anne Widdecombe. At multiple occasions, Devon and Cornwall Police seemed to be at pains to stress that they had found no evidence at all. And when you sort of then put that front and centre of a news conference saying no evidence of this, it invites people, steers them away from that suggestion. Now, obviously, 5 days later, 6 days later as it is now, to be full-throated into a terrorism investigation, it's invited some criticism of Devon and Cornwall Police. Among those criticising the force is the independent reviewer of terrorism, Jonathan Hall, who said he believed, you know, that this really goes against the golden rule of investigations. When you don't really know, you shouldn't be sort of putting out and theorising out there that it is not one thing when it could easily turn out to be that. I remember, you know, just a few years ago, it was always the policy of police forces to tell people, you know, if they didn't know whether it was terrorism, politically motivated or not, they would say, you know, nothing is ruled in, nothing is ruled out. They just, you know, they wouldn't go there because they know well that things can take a turn. New evidence can come to light. Just because there's an absence of evidence doesn't necessarily follow that it's not one particular strand of your investigation that you need to be worried about anymore.
Many questions indeed will need to be answered, and hopefully soon. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. It's GB News Home and Security Editor Mark White live from Devon there. And of course, as this is an active case, just so you all understand at home, Ellie and I are not going to speculate and we're not going to make any further comments on it. But of course, in case we get in trouble for contempt of court laws as well. So we're going to... Mark is the best man to talk about that story. He knows it back to front. And of course, we'll bring you more on that as soon as we have it, won't we?
Yeah, we certainly will, here on GB News. Now, 10 minutes past 6, the government has confirmed that it will change the law so that Rochdale grooming gang leader Shabir Ahmed can be deported.
Well, Ahmed was released earlier this month after serving just 14 years of a 22-year sentence for his part in a Rochdale grooming gang.
Well, the Home Secretary, Shabana Mahmood, has confirmed that laws will be changed regarding the loophole preventing Ahmed from being deported.
Now, we're joined by Fraser Myers, Deputy Editor at Spiked Online. Fraser, good morning. Lovely to see you as always.
Good morning. Good to be here.
Well, finally, this archaic 1971 Commonwealth deportation law is being changed. However, lots of questions remain as to whether this man will ever actually leave Britain.
Yeah, that's the thing. As shocking as this case is, I don't think this is the end of it. Shabana Mahmood can change the law, and I think she's absolutely right to. I think people are absolutely outraged that there could be a loophole preventing this man from being deported. But when it comes to deportations, there are two sides to this. There's also the government of Pakistan, and they currently have no intention of taking Shabir Ahmed back. So that's going to be the bigger hurdle, I think, for Shabana Mahmood and the Labour government. I think what's extraordinary is that Pakistan has generally taken this view that it won't take back grooming gang leaders, despite the fact that they're clearly responsible for those people, despite the fact that these are some of the worst criminals imaginable, and it is normal standard practice to take back your own people when they've committed such serious crimes. So I think, if the government is serious about this, and if this is more than a PR stunt, we're going to have to see some pressure applied to Pakistan. And people have suggested that might involve, say, withholding visas from Pakistani nationals, or it might involve reducing foreign aid. We are paying millions and millions of pounds to Pakistan in foreign aid. We do have leverage that we can use. So I think unless the government starts talking in those terms, then we are not realistically, then this is really just a bit of a gimmick. It's not going to actually lead to anyone's deportation.
All the government have indicated so far is that they're threatening visa restrictions. So far, do you think that's going far enough? Do you think that will force Pakistan's hand in all of this? Well,
I think it should do. It probably would do if it were actually to come into force. We don't know what else is going on behind the scenes, what diplomacy is going on. But I think we all suspect that this is not at the top of the list of government's priorities in their dealings with countries like Pakistan. Lots of insiders have said that the issue of grooming gangs never comes up when the UK has bilateral discussions. It's important to start now, but we should have started a long time ago. And in the case of someone like Shabir Ahmed, we've known for a long time that this was coming up. He was sentenced in 2012. So various governments of different stripes have had time to prepare for this. They promised the victims that he would be deported, that all of the rape gang participants would be deported. Not a single one of them has. It's worth saying that this is not an isolated case. Yep. So it does feel as if it's too little too late. Hopefully we will see a good answer, though. Yeah,
the thing is, Fraser, is that we know there's a national inquiry on the way, right? There'll be expectation from the British public that deportations take place.
Yep.
And this is a first high-profile, disgusting individual that people want to see justice be served. He's already been released early from his prison sentence. Yep. This really is the ultimate test, because if you can't deport this man, it is highly likely in the thousands of cases that we know exist, there will be another example as similar to Shabir Ahmed.
Absolutely. There are so many cases currently going through the system. Recently there were several men convicted of grooming offences. They came from Afghanistan, and they came via a small boat, so they're here illegally. But we also do not have a deportations agreement with Afghanistan. So, again, I think this problem is going to keep recurring, and it will be a test of any government as to how seriously do they take these crimes, how much do they care about the victims. They profess to care about violence against women and girls. But will they actually grasp the nettle on this issue? That always remains to be seen.
OK, Fraser, we'll see you again in the next hour. And we're going to be talking about David and Ed Miliband eyeing up their top jobs for number 10 with you in the next hour as well. So thank you very much.
Should we have a little chat with Henry Bolton about this, borders experts and political advisor. Henry, good to see you. Thanks for joining us this morning. This case really upsets so many people. I remember reporting on his release and now subsequently over the weekend on my own show reporting about the release of others, albeit they are British nationals, so we haven't got a discussion around deportation. What are the consequences for the Home Secretary if she fails to deport Shabir Ahmed?
It's not just the Home Secretary, it's the government, and they're already in a bit of a mess, as we all know. You've just said this is a particularly high-profile case, and yes, it is, but it's illustrative of hundreds of such cases that have less high profile. So it's indicative of a much larger problem, although it's a particularly large case in that sense. This goes to the very heart of keeping the British public safe. We have convicted criminals, convicted of the most heinous crimes that we're unable to remove. And as you've just been talking about, the sort of inability to extradite these people or to remove them really is a matter of will. I've helped numerous countries overcome legal issues. Now, I'm not a lawyer. Legal issues of similar sorts through Central Asia, Southeastern Europe, and so on, North Africa rather. And at the end of the day, if the government has the will, then it will task its legal teams to create a number of scenarios, even ones that haven't come about yet, and trawl through all of the existing legislation to ensure that there is nothing there to stop the deportation of such disgusting individuals. And so that's the first thing. Now, this government, and indeed previous governments, have failed to do that. They tinker around the edges. They do it on a case-by-case basis. And all they do, even if they do adjust some legislation, they make it even more complicated. And that actually creates further loopholes for lawyers to exploit. The other thing is that for really starting really with David Cameron, but a little bit before that, the British government, successive British governments have decided that they want to employ soft power rather than hard power. And gradually, and I understand that, the language of diplomacy, and let's not sort of go to war and use sanctions if we don't have to. But what we have done is we have replaced our ability to project hard economic or military or diplomatic power. But we've replaced all that, because that's difficult, that's often expensive, with the language of soft power, you know? So, and that has meant that countries like Pakistan no longer fear any sort of retribution from the United Kingdom if they don't play ball. If we are not prepared to strong-arm some countries that don't want to cooperate, and we're not prepared to do it in the interest of the British public, then we're really on a lost wicket. It's not going to work. So you've got those two things. You've got to have the political will to sort out the legislation and make the difficult decisions that all these leaders tell us that they keep making but actually aren't. And you've got to have the political will to say, actually, sometimes you've got to be tough at that table. You've got to be able to threaten people with economic, cultural, immigration, or even military power sometimes to say, you damn well do it, because if you don't, these are the consequences. At the moment, almost they're doing the opposite.
OK, Henry Bolton, thank you very much for your assessment this morning on GB News Breakfast.
You're welcome. Good morning.
Shall we have a little look at some of the other stories coming into the newsroom?
Yes, the UAE has accused Iran of a brazen attack on 2 tankers in the Strait of Hormuz yesterday, killing 1 person and wounding 8 others. It comes as President Trump says the US will impose a 20% charge as part of a new blockade on the waterway.
And the Hillsborough Bill returns to the House of Commons today, marking a major milestone for families and campaigners. The government amends will now be set out on how public bodies disclose information while protecting national security.
British troops will stand shoulder to shoulder with French forces today in the Bastille Day parade in Paris. Soldiers from the Grenadier Guards will march through the French capital. Sir Keir Starmer is also visiting France with other leaders from the coalition of the willing.
And pubs are expected to serve more than 64 million and low alcohol beers this summer. The British Beer and Pub Association says the category is no longer a fad, but a defining part of the sector.
How do you feel about no and low beer? Would you ever drink non-alcoholic beer? No.
No.
I wish in a way I was that way inclined, but
I just think if you're going to drink beer,
have a beer.
have a beer. It's like all the fake meat, it's like the fake chicken.
I know.
It's like if you want to eat chicken, just eat chicken.
Just eat chicken.
Right?
I know,
Do you
but
see
some
what I
people
mean?
who can't drink or won't drink.
Well, I think if
very
it's
good
medical reason and you really fancy the taste of it, I understand.
then it's a good thing. And apparently some of them are very, very good these days. I wouldn't know because I haven't tried them.
Yeah, no, neither have I.
Yeah. Well, let us know if you have.
That's helpful, wasn't it?
Yeah, we're a bad litmus test.
It's just me and you getting boozed up.
Yeah.
On real. Why would you taste that non-alcoholic beer?
No, never. But let us know if you like them and if you've tried them. gbnews.com/you'll say.
Yeah, you're watching Breakfast with Ellie and Alex, and we love this part of the show because it's the daily reflection. Have a look.
The GB News Daily Reflection.
Hi, I'm Richard England. I'm the Anglican Vicar of Crofton Parish. In the modern West, we've slightly given up on the idea that we should have any values when it comes to our relationships. Do what feels good, as long as you're not hurting anyone. It's perhaps the closest we get to saying anything about how we should conduct ourselves in our most intimate relationships. Unfortunately, that leaves a vacuum of advice and influence just waiting to be filled by all sorts of terrible things. So is there a Christian way to think about relationships that isn't oppressive and might actually be good for us and each other? Jesus boiled all of his teaching down to two ideas: love God and love your neighbor as you love yourself. Love of others is supposed to be the evidence of love of God. So what if a partner or a spouse, a significant other, is the first person in our lives that we are supposed to love as we love ourselves? Not more than we love ourselves, that's codependency. But not less than we love ourselves, that's exploitation. But what if our closest, most intimate relationships are the first place we learn to live the way of Jesus, where we learn to love God by loving the person in front of us as we love ourselves? That's the historic Christian perspective on relationships, and I think it still stands up pretty well today.
That's a very calming message on this Tuesday morning.
Most
I think
love.
was needed.
Yeah. Always need a nice calm message, particularly everything's so crazy at the moment.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, we don't know what the weather's like because it was a little bit cold this morning. I aired out my entire flat today.
Now, yesterday, I actually felt a bit nippy in the morning.
God.
It did. I was out early with the dog and I thought, actually quite cold today. I haven't felt that way in a long time. It was
Until
actually
you
quite
stepped back
nice.
into the studio this
Until
morning.
I stepped back in here this
And
morning.
then Ellie was like, it's freezing cold.
It's freezing cold.
But I love it. I loved it today. I opened all the doors.
Did you like to get the fresh air in?
Well, it was I've got an old building. My flat's in an old building, and it just keeps all the heat in. It was like 26 degrees in my flat, 18 degrees outside. It was bliss.
Oh, lovely. Perfect. Well, let's have a look at what it's doing today. Here's Alex Burkill.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good morning. It's time for your GB News weather forecast from the Met Office. And now it is going to be another mostly sunny and hot day for many of us, even though at the moment there's actually quite a bit of cloud around. That cloud has come in from the east overnight, but it is generally going to break up and burn away as we go through this morning. Just some lingering low cloud towards some North Sea coastal parts. Lots of sunshine then by the afternoon, and in that sunshine, well, it's going to feel pretty hot indeed. Temperatures generally ranging from highs in the very high 20s, possibly low 30s towards the south to the high teens, low 20s towards the north. There is still a bit of a breeze, particularly towards some coastal parts. That will take the edge off the heat a little bit. Into the evening, and there's not a huge amount of change, to be honest. There's some low clouds still around those eastern coastal parts of Scotland. Across central and western areas, however, it's a bright, fine end to the day, similar across much of Northern Ireland. Again, still some cloud around those North Sea coastal parts of England, and that cloud is again going to start to push its way a bit further inland through the end of the evening and overnight. Most places, though, sticking with the largely clear skies for a little while yet. But yes, similar to last night, really, that cloud in the east is going to become more widespread, and there's also the potential for a bit of cloud to come into some southwestern parts, Devon and Cornwall, likely to see some cloud at times overnight, but it's going to stay dry. Temperatures holding up for most, so low to mid-teens, high teens in a fair few places, especially towards the south, so feeling pretty warm indeed, still quite uncomfortable for sleeping. Again, we're going to see most of that cloud that pushes in overnight burning away through tomorrow morning, still just lingering towards those eastern coastal parts for some. Otherwise, a bit of cloud here and there, could be quite high-level clouds, so maybe just turning the sunshine a bit hazy at times, but generally it's looking fine, sunny, and with that, temperatures similar to today, so a good chance of getting into the low 30s. See you later.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Lots of you really do not like this non-alcoholic beer, and I don't blame you.
You're not on board, yeah.
I'm not on board.
And neither are we, to be fair.
There's been loads of comments on this. Hang on. Here we go. What's this one?
Oh,
yeah.
Bob the Builder says...
Okay, well, we can't say that word.
No, we can't, but 20 years ago it wasn't very good, we can say that much.
Tried alcohol-free Stella a year or so ago, and it's lovely, Bob the Bodybuilder.
Apparently now it's quite good, yeah.
Yeah.
And others saying we need to give it a chance. Apparently there are some brands that are quite good these days.
I had some good ones earlier and I've lost them now. I'll try and pull them up in the break. However, the last few came in here, says from Steve. So, Alex, if you want to live to a ripe old age, you need to moderate your alcohol intake. My go-to high-quality 0.0% brews are Guinness, Corona, lots of others as well. Don't mock them until you try them.
Well, there you go.
Fair enough. Maybe I'll give it a go. However, I don't drink a lot as it is because I'm here.
Well, you are always here. You do live here.
Yeah.
So you can't
I can't drink on the weekends, can I?
That's true. Also got this on X from Kirsty Dunlop, who says, on the James Bond story, there's a debate about whether James Bond should be a woman and potentially black. Should we keep James Bond as a white man is the question. Kirsty says they can keep 007 as a white man, then they should do other movies if they like. 008 can be a black man, 003 could be a white woman, and so on. You don't need to ruin 007.
Yeah, just spin it off. It'll be a flop anyway, no one will watch it.
Well, let us know what you think. Would it be a flop if there was...
It would. I'm telling you it would. No one's going to watch it.
Let us know what you think. tvnews.com/you'll say.
Up next, Paul Coit is here with all the sports. Paul.
The only flop I'd like to see is Lionel Messi flopping tomorrow night. That would be good, wouldn't it? England versus Argentina, second semi-final of the World Cup. It's Spain versus France tonight, and we'll discuss more shortly.
France.
Bold.
They are under no illusion.
Brave.
Are you a human trafficker?
Boundless. I've had enough of the nonsense, and I'm not afraid to say it.
Don't get this on the BBC.
Every weeknight, I tear through the headlines.
The smell of gasoline. Should we be worried about it?
From Westminster madness to cultural war chaos.
What I'm going to do now is they are throwing things out the car as we speak.
Get ready, Britain. Here we go. Patrick Christie's tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Some people enjoy lazy Sunday mornings, but not me.
What's the truth of the matter?
So that's a very live question.
Would you support him if he waters down these plans?
Before the spin sets in, I'll be getting to the truth.
This is personal.
No soft questions, no easy answers.
It's one thing if the state has rules in this country. It's another thing whether the police and others actually police them.
Setting the agenda and holding those in power to account.
You can't really blame her if the system is set up this way.
You will not want to miss it, trust me. The Camilla Tominey Show, Sundays from 9:30, only on GB News.
All right, time to go through all the sports with Paul Coit. Paul.
So you got a problem with my pronunciation, is that what it is?
I just thought it sounded very French.
The way I said France.
France.
You know what? I think I said it without realising it because
no, it's very natural.
I like to say it.
You like to speak as a
very nice.
Sound like Borat now.
It's Bastille Day today, isn't it? So it's a huge day for France, who are playing España, by the way, in the World Cup semi-final, the first World Cup semi-final.
It's going to be a great
Now,
game.
is it better for us if Spain win?
Yes.
Yes.
I think probably yes.
Okay, so we need to be Spanish
They're
today.
both very good. So I'm glad that we're playing. I'm glad we're playing Argentina in our semi-final. So Spain, I mean, I'll just look at some of the results. They beat Belgium 2-1. They beat Portugal. They beat Austria. They beat Uruguay. They beat Saudi Arabia. But don't forget, they drew with Cape Verde. Do you remember that first game?
Yes.
So that gives maybe a little hope to anybody. But that was only the first game. And then France. Morocco, Paraguay, Sweden, Norway, Iraq and Senegal, they've beaten everybody in front of them. So I think, in my opinion, it will be France tonight.
Yes.
It could go.
They are the standout team, aren't they?
They really are.
They really are. And so, you know, if you want the best World Cup final, you want the best team in the end, really, for the best show. Yeah, I mean, I think so.
Well,
if you
did
want the
you
best
know
showdown.
this is the first time ever in a World Cup the top 4 teams in the world are the last 4 left? It's never happened before.
Oh, right, yeah.
And we are one of those.
Oh, wow,
course.
yeah, of course.
So, are you going to watch tomorrow night, Ellie? I mean, it's a late... Well, I know, but it is...
Oh, no, it's worth waiting.
You know, it's a school night, but we're going to have to be
it's
up
not a
for
school night for me.
Oh, yes, of course it's not.
very
So you'll
well.
be all right.
First England game where I'm not going to be here doing a shift. So I caught at the end of the last England game in the green room with Bill Rammell, actually. Me and Bill Rammell with our England tops on, trying to be quiet while the show was still going on here for the Late Show Live.
Sure.
So I'm really excited.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Oh, you can have a few bevies. That'll be great.
I'll be having more than a few bevies.
Yeah, well, do it for me.
No 0% alcohol that night, I'll tell you that for sure.
Jordan Pickford.
What about you?
Well, of course I will be. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
watching
I'll be
at
at
home, or
home.
you
I like it to be. I always say this. It's like I like the idea, the whole pub, but I like to concentrate on it.
Yeah,
Okay.
And I like it to be.
Well, you're probably working.
But that's not even a professional thing. It's just like I like to be sat there, got my son with me.
That's nice.
Then do the whole thing. You know, it's really important for me. So Jordan Pickford, do you know what he's going to be doing? He's probably going to be in goal for the game. So let's hear what he has to say. And he was asked about basically England bringing the nation together, because we know how important it is, and we've seen a lot of that already, and it's only going to get better and better the further we get. This is what Jordan Pickford had to say yesterday.
You know how we feel. You see us after each and every game, and to have the nation behind us back at home, it doesn't go unseen. We know how much it means to them, but it also knows how much it means to us, and we pay huge credit to them, enjoying themselves, and we're doing it for them as well. We've brought this nation together. That was the first goal in looking back at 2018. It was about connecting that nation together now, and now it's that step. Now we're in the semi-final, and we know we can't look past Argentina. It's going to be a tough game, but we want to put smiles on their faces as well.
This is going to be a hell of a game.
He looks calm.
He does look calm. Absolutely. That's what you want. So,
are we not a better team man for man against Argentina, Paul?
It's really difficult.
Yeah.
It's really difficult to run it. But last time we played them 21 years ago, well, just under 21 years ago, we won that.
Oh, well, that's good.
Last time we played in the World Cup was in 2002 in Japan, when we won 1-0. That's when David Beckham scored the penalty that won it. By the way, which was given away by Mauricio Pochettino, playing for Argentina back that day. Then we can go back in history. Then we've got, what have we got? Messi, who's never played against England, of course, because it's been that long. France 98, we lost on penalties. That's when Glenn Hoddle was the manager. And that was the David Beckham foul that time when he got sent off. Mexico 86, we know about that. In the Azteca, where we lost 2-1. Wembley 66, we won. Antonio Ratin that got sent off, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But there's a huge history. Well, of course there is. But in football, there's a huge history too. So anyway, it's going to really be something else. Uri Geller, you hear about Uri Geller?
No.
Uri Geller, you know, there was in the game that we played against Norway, when one of the goals was scored, the ball came up and Norway were complaining about the fact that it hit the spider cam. Did you see this?
Because there was no detection.
Well, that's right. So Uri Geller is now saying that, no, it didn't. It was him that made the ball move.
Oh.
Of course it was.
Of course it was Uri Geller.
Of course it was
Why
Uri.
did we not calculate for Uri Geller getting involved?
Uri said, I was awake all night in Israel. What else can I tell you? Yes, I made the ball move. It was him. And funnily enough, there he is. That's
There he is. That's how he did it.
Move, ball. Yes, come on, ball.
Do you think he bent a spoon at the same time?
I sat next to him. He also said the ball move. This is back in Euro 96 when there was a Scotland penalty and Gary McAllister took it. And it was saved by David Seaman. He said he made the ball move because if you look at the ball, and he said that was him. And this is absolutely true. And it's my favourite story is that I sat next to Uri Geller, England versus Spain in Euro 96. And it went to penalties. And he was sitting there, and this is absolutely true. So he was sitting there, and everybody's cheering it. Anyway, he stands up in front of everybody during the penalty shootout. And he's going, I want everybody to say it together. England win. England win. Everybody stand up. England win. And this guy sitting next to him turned around and went, Oi, Geller, if we lose, you're dead. And Uri Geller sat down like this. And they said, but we did win.
Yes, we did.
So maybe it was...
But you know, I've got another fun fact for you. You know that second goal by Bellingham? I set that up.
How?
Did you?
Yeah. I used my powers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was sat here.
Good.
I was sat here and I just used my powers.
Well,
There
we're
you go.
very grateful.
Well, thank you very much. Kept that one quiet, didn't you?
We're very grateful.
You did keep that quiet. Yeah,
Poison,
absolutely.
thank you.
We've got Norman Giller coming up at 8:30, by the way. Journalist from 66. He was in the dressing room straight after England won the World Cup, and he's a fantastic character, so he's going to join us.
Brilliant.
Thanks, Paul.
Looking forward to that.
Before we move on, you're still talking about James Bond on your side. Neil thinks she'd be a great Bond girl. I agree.
Oh, thanks, Neil.
Would you go for a role?
No, I think that would be
Would
a bit
you do it?
stressful.
Would you do it?
Why would it be
my
stressful?
goodness.
What would you do?
Oh, I just think it would be a bit stressful.
I'm going to apply for you.
Oh, no, I don't think so.
Be a bit stressful.
What would be a Bond girl name?
It's because you're having to multitask. Do this and do that. That's what it is.
Moneypenny. What about Moneypenny?
Oh, Moneypenny, yeah,
You could be Moneypenny.
that's a good one.
Or you could be a Q.
Or a Q. Yeah, I'd be up for either of those, I think.
No, Q, M.
Yeah, or M.
Oh.
Yeah.
You'd be tough M.
Thank you. That would be good.
Yeah.
Call Me Old Fashioned says, I hope it goes to penalties tonight. Oh, so I quite like the idea of that because it really is down to luck.
Yeah, and then we've got nothing to worry about. We can enjoy the penalty shootout, not have any worry.
Yeah.
And also, longer game, tiring them out a little bit more. So that's not a bad idea.
Yeah. Not a bad idea. Very good. We're behind you on that one.
Certainly agree. All right, should we have a little look at the Great British Giveaway now? 60 grand in tax-free cash. You know what it is. A free gold bar worth over 5 grand too.
Oh, is it free?
Well, yeah, I guess if we're giving it away. I guess it is, Ellie.
It is, actually. You're not wrong. It's how you can make your year truly golden. Hayley Sparks says all of the details. A free gold.
We're celebrating a golden summer, as you could win a totally tax-free £60,000 in cash to spend on anything you like. Imagine all of the fun you could have this year with that. You could spend it on treats, save it for a rainy day, or give you the chance to chill out and relax on the perfect getaway. Plus, we're going to give you a £5,000 gold bar that you could keep, trade or gift to a loved one and secure their financial future. You really could be enjoying gold and £60,000 cash in our Golden Summer celebration.
For a chance to win £60,000 in tax-free cash and a real gold bar, text GOLD to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message, or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge, or post your name and number to GB22 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 21st of August. This is a network giveaway. Entries will be pooled. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
There we go. There we go.
There we go.
It is a free
what
gold
a great
bar. We
prize.
found out.
And it is a free gold bar because you get it for free, don't you?
That's right.
Now, do stay with us. Still to come. This is going to wind you up. This is on the front page of the Telegraph this morning. Apparently, hosepipe bans don't apply to people on benefits.
Oh, it's just getting ridiculous.
Their lawns can be lovely and green.
It doesn't make any sense.
We're going to go through that in the papers with David Wooding and Tali Fraser. That's up next.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. There is a collision on the M1 northbound between junctions 16 and 17 in Daventry. The M67 eastbound between junctions 1 and 1A in Manchester is closed. The A46 southbound is closed after the A428. The M6 southbound between junctions 31A and 31 in Preston East has a lane closure causing slow traffic. In Scotland, the A75 eastbound exit slip at Gretna is closed due to roadworks with delays expected. And on the trains, Avanti West Coast has a reduced service between Chester and Crewe. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
I've been in Westminster for a long time, but I know that though power may be here, its effect on people's lives is across the whole of the country. We may be where rules are made, but it's where they're implemented that matters. Join me, Jacob Rees-Mogg, for forthright and frank discussion on where Britain has come from, where it's going, and where it will end up. That's State of the Nation, Monday to Thursday, 8 to 9 o'clock. Vox Populi, Vox Dei.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation,
no,
isn't it?
No,
Because the failure is
you're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back,
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
and we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Jubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m. only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Welcome to Free Speech Nation with me, Josh Howard. This is the show where each week we see what's happening in the world of culture, current affairs and politics.
First we'll say, welcome to the UK. Oh, thank you.
And we're not afraid to use our free speech so that you can use yours.
It's not controversial in the slightest to anyone who hasn't lost their mind.
Free Speech Nation, Sunday nights at 7 p.m. only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
As soon as it hits 11 and the headlines come in,
the late edition brings you the breaking news from all the front pages.
Because the news is going to happen.
So get a head start today.
Patrick Christie's tonight, late edition.
Alex Armstrong tonight, late edition. From 11 o'clock every night.
Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
He can say whatever he wants.
A straight talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m. weekdays here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Do you trust what you're being told?
Good.
because neither do I.
Those are just facts.
I'm Alex Armstrong, and on my show, we'll expose the spin.
Well, I want to answer that because you didn't let me last time, because you always speak over me.
The broken promises.
To deny that is denying the truth.
And the hypocrisy.
We can allow. We can allow.
Politics, policy, parliament. Nothing is off limits. No sugarcoating, no fear of offence, just the truth laid bare. Tune in every Saturday and Sunday at 9 p.m. for Alex Armstrong Tonight, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
And joining us to go through the newspapers is Tali Fraser, and commissioning editor and writer at large for The Spectator, and former newspaper editor David Wooding as well. Thank you both for joining me. I don't want to get both your titles confused then as well. But anyway, welcome to the show.
We got the idea.
You got the idea.
Yeah,
you got the idea. We all know who you are. You see everyone. Yes, journalists, exactly. Now look, David, let's start with this one. Ellie was reading into it a moment ago, and it's already causing controversy, and that is no hosepipe ban if you're on benefits.
Yes, well, there's 5 million people who are on hosepipe bans at the moment, and the gardens are wilting in the heat wave, absolutely. But if you dare to use a sprinkler on your lawn and one of your neighbours snitches on you, there's a good northern word, then you get a fine, £1,000, I think it is.
Yeah.
And it seems that 2 water boards, or the Southern and one called Affinity, are allowing people who are on benefits with 3 children to have to flout these rules.
Why is that?
Well, apparently it's to do with people who are on the reduced tariff, and that includes disabled people and people with other issues. And it's simpler for them just to say, everybody who's on this special tariff is exempt. The problem is, I don't know why, even if you're disabled or if you're on benefits, why you need to sprinkle your lawn.
No, well, that's
more
the thing.
More than anybody else.
I'm all for understanding there are exceptions for people who are disabled, and having my grandmother was very severely disabled, so I understand there are lots of exemptions needed to protect those people. But you're right. What's the need for your lawn to be kept well and moist?
Apparently, it's to avoid confusion for disabled people.
Yeah, they don't get it though. It still doesn't add up.
This is the thing. There are more than 5 million people affected by hosepipe bans right now. So we don't quite get why the bulk of them should get a fine if they do it, a fine of more than £1,000. But then there are exemptions like this. It seems like a very peculiar choice.
It does. It really does. I can't make any sense of it whatsoever. And apparently this has been the case for a really long time. I guess you can't really fine people who haven't got the money to pay the fine anyway, David.
No, exactly. Particularly if you're on benefits, I guess you wouldn't be able to pay the fine, and they wouldn't press it. But it feeds into this constant row that we're seeing about people on benefits being given extra add-ons in addition to the money that they're getting paid into their bank accounts by taxpayers. And it's been seen as another case of two-tier Britain.
Well, Suella Braverman has said this is absolutely ridiculous. Let us know what you think. gbnews.com/you'll say. We've got much more going through the papers. We're going to be talking about Ed Miliband and the job that he wants.
Yes.
We all know what that is.
Yes, well, apparently he's going to change his tune. If he does, we'll tell you what that is just after the weather.
Ready to soak up that holiday sunshine?
Won't we need some cover?
No worries. All sorted.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Whilst we've been talking about heat across the UK for a while, we've been talking about heat across parts of Europe for even longer, and the exceptionally hot spell does look set to continue. It's more across parts of France, but also pushing into eastern Spain, where we're seeing the very high temperatures compared to average. But even further south, well, here it is pretty hot, and temperatures for parts of Italy getting into the high 30s or low 40s. With all that, lots of sunshine, but do watch out for a bit of showery rain. Bye-bye.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Britain's newsroom. Weekday mornings from 9:30.
Well, we're joined now by another 2 brutal commentators, Jonathan Liss and Emma Trimble, here in the studio to go through the day's news. Good morning, both of you. Let's start with this pub opening all through the night on Monday. I mean, great news for pub landlords. We've just spoken to one, but not necessarily such great news for the police, Emma, who aren't so impressed with this idea.
True, although in the 11th hour, it seems that Keir Starmer's finally figured out how to do something popular. I mean, if he could allow them to open until 5 a.m. around, not just for the football, but throughout the year, I think that would be, as in many European countries, it'd be really good for hospitality. I'm sure it will lead to maybe some drunken disorderly behaviour.
Depends if we win or lose.
Come on, the police don't actually bother to police proper crimes anyway, it seems, so I'm sure.
Well, GB News, the People's Channel. This is GB News, Britain's news channel.
It was the daring rescue mission that shocked the world. 50 years ago, 102 hostages were rescued in a deadly siege following a week-long crisis that began with the hijacking of Air France Flight 139. 248 people boarded the flight from Tel Aviv to Paris, with a stopover in Athens to pick up more passengers. Among those passengers were 4 armed pro-Palestinian terrorists. 8 minutes after takeoff, the terrorists hijacked the plane and forced the pilot to fly to Uganda's Entebbe airport. There, the notorious dictator Idi Amin and his troops were waiting to assist the attackers to hold the passengers hostage.
I've been telephoned several telephone calls from Tel Aviv talking to me since I cut off relationship with Israel.
GB News, the People's Channel. This is GB News, Britain's news channel.
How are you? Great to see you. Listen, how are the bags?
Great to see you.
How are the bags under the eyes? It's been a long night for you as well as us, right?
Yeah, they're always there anyway, the bags.
Oh, go on.
But no, it was a fantastic evening, wasn't it? I knew after about 5 or 10 minutes that we were so focused on the match. I haven't seen us like that for a little while. We were really prepared properly, and we just took the sting out the Mexican side. We played some great football, and of course, Jude Bellingham got his goals as normal, and Harry got his penalty as normal, and it was just not only a great game and a great result, it's just lit the nation up, really, I think, now.
GB News, the People's Channel.
Welcome back, everybody. Just on that last story here, I caught Mary's comment on your say. Mary says, I'm disabled but not on benefits and struggle to carry a bucket of water used to keep my plants alive. So maybe that's the reason why there are benefits, there are exemptions for benefits claimants. Really interesting. Thanks for that comment, Mary. It just always helps shed a little bit of light when we don't always have all of the opinions here. So thank you. That's what your say is all about. Exactly. All right, let's move on.
Tali, let's have a look at this one on the front page of The Telegraph. Ed Miliband wants a land job as Chancellor. How's he planning to do that?
He's planning to do that by basically ditching all the things that he said as Energy Secretary. So to begin with, that's approving drilling in the North Sea, because he thinks that might calm some of the market jitters around his bid to become Chancellor. But obviously, he's been very sort of vehement on this no drilling in the North Sea. And now that there's a promotion coming up, it's pretty shameless, I think, to just ditch your policies because you can see that the next rung might be available to you. So the story is that he's looking at approving the Jackdaw gas field. There's another field that's available in the North Sea, which is at Rosebank, and that's oil, but he seems not so keen on that. And that's potentially because he's previously called it climate vandalism if he were to allow Rosebank. So that would look even worse if he were to go back on both. But yeah, Red Ed seems to be turning back on what he said.
But this is the thing, David, is that you just kind of want politicians to stay with their convictions. At least you know where you stand with them at that point.
Absolutely. And Ed Miliband has been sticking to his guns on this for months, under fire, heavy fire from papers like The Sun and the Daily Mail, which have been writing in their leader columns almost on a daily basis, saying he's an eco-zealot. He will not move on this, but he has to move. Tali was in the Jackdaw oil gas field that could heat 1.5 4 million homes, and in the present climate, with climate's a bad word to use in the present situation with the shortage and energy prices going through the roof, that is needed. But he has described it as climate vandalism in the past.
And it's the thing, he can't take those comments back. No. We all know how he feels about climate. We all know how he feels about energy. It's been his life's work up until this point.
Yes.
So it does come off as disingenuous, does it not?
It's just
then say the total
expedience.
opposite. Lots of you getting in touch on that one.
Yeah.
Miliband doing a U-turn before he even gets the job he wants. You can't make this up.
Yeah, compulsory Miliband. These are my principles. If you don't like them, I have others. There you go. But that's very much politicians in 2026, isn't it?
This is the thing, because Andy Burnham has sort of indicated that he's going to go up to Scotland, to go visit Aberdeen and try and win back these people. Ed Miliband has looked at that and gone,
I need to get on board.
That's the direction we're going in, so I'll just hop on now.
Shameless.
In order to get my seat at the table.
Absolutely shameless.
Oh, dear.
We've got a quick time for one more story here. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard, the IRGC, Tali, they've been banned from operating in the UK. About time.
Yeah, it has really been a long time coming, this. The discussions have been ongoing since the Tories were in government, and they didn't take the steps to do it. So basically, this will see that anyone expressing support or assisting the group in the UK will be facing criminal prosecution and a maximum punishment of 14 years in prison, which is obviously a very different environment to what it has been so far.
Yeah, and David, the IRGC, of course, massive threat here in Britain. We've seen multiple foiled attempts by counter-terrorism police before too.
Absolutely, it's been linked with the regime, so therefore it would be treachery on a grand scale to support them. But what I ask is, why has this not been done before? Keir Starmer's about to be kicked out of office. If only he'd done something like this and a few other policies earlier, then perhaps we might not be getting rid of it.
I will say, one of the things that shocks me on all the protests I go out to covering sometimes is the amount of support for the IRGC and the Ayatollahs and all those other sort of regime leaders, and I was constantly shocked by it, and that will all be illegal now, thank goodness. That will all be illegal because it should never be taking place in Britain. But I warn people, the scale of support for that regime is eye-watering, and it will make your jaw drop at home. It really will.
Well, we know about the foil plots here in this country, a number of them now, and I think it was John Andrews got in touch on You'll Say earlier saying what's going to be done about small boats and those belonging to the IRGC crossing on those small boats. So we'll try and put that to the government just after 9 o'clock this morning, so don't miss that.
Indeed, yeah, lots more to come on the show here, of course, as well. So stay tuned and we'll bring you more and the latest, of course, on Anne Widdecombe's investigation, the alleged murder investigation, shortly.
But for now, Tali and David, thank you very much. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Thank you, Britain, for making GB News Radio such a huge success. Whether you're in the car, on the go, or listening at home, thank you for choosing us as your radio station.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. The A27 eastbound is closed after the A285. The A46 southbound is closed after the A428. The A19 northbound is closed after the A182. The M6 southbound between junctions 31A and 31 in Preston East has a lane closure with slow traffic. The A421 at junction 27 is closed. In Scotland, the A977 is closed in both directions between Kilbargie Roundabout and Ferrygate due to planned roadworks. And on the trains, Avanti West Coast has a reduced service between Chester and Crewe. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
We're celebrating a golden summer with a terrific two-part Great British giveaway. First, you could win a sensational £60,000 in tax-free cash. And that's not all, as you'll also win our most precious prize to date, a fine gold bar worth over £5,000. For a chance to win, text GOLD to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entry start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB22 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 21st of August. This is a network giveaway. Entries will be pooled. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk now?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up?
About 10. So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m, only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Good morning. Police are under fire over the handling of Anne Widdecombe's death.
Yes, it comes as Home Secretary Shabana Mahmood yesterday revealed counter-terrorism officers are now leading the investigation.
Well, that's after the head of UK counter-terrorism policing announced a discovery of new information and evidence.
The move comes despite the police insisting her alleged murder was not politically motivated.
The most dangerous foreign criminals, including Rochdale grooming gang leader Shabir Ahmed, are set to be deported as the Home Secretary announces changes to the Immigration Act.
And get this, the Miliband brothers eye up top jobs at number 10 as David Miliband looks to become the next British ambassador to the United States. And wealthy Britons reportedly prepared to flee the country at the prospect of Ed Miliband becoming Chancellor.
As calls mount for the reinvention of James Bond into a woman or a black actor, we're going to be discussing whether Bond should remain traditional and stay white and male.
And sport this morning, well, England will make a late call on Declan Rice for the World Cup semi-final against Argentina tomorrow. First semi-final is Spain versus France, that's tonight. And in cricket, England's women suffer a heavy loss against India.
Whilst it is quite cloudy at the moment for some of us, don't be fooled, the cloud will break up and we will see plenty of sunshine, feeling hot in that sunshine as well. For more on the heat, well, stick around, I'll have the details.
Good morning, it's just gone 7 o'clock. I'm Ellie Costello.
And I'm Alex Armstrong, and this is GB News Breakfast.
What do we think about James Bond becoming a woman?
I think James Bond needs to stay a white male.
I agree. I think James Bond needs to stay a white male. I wouldn't mind there being a female spy spin-off, though.
Because they did try it, didn't they? They did try it in the last James Bond instalment. They did have like a Jane Bond sort of style.
Why can't they just have their own? Well, you know, if they're just there's so many different spy films. Why does it have to be James Bond? It's like, oh, James Bond has to be this. It's like, well, just
if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
There you go.
Yeah.
But if it goes woke, it goes broke.
Who was your favourite James Bond, though? Do you have
Pierce Brosnan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's got to be Pierce.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up watching Pierce Brosnan, so maybe that's why I have that affinity to him as James Bond. But I thought Daniel Craig did a really good job.
It's a bit moody for me.
Are we going?
Casino Royale.
I love the
what
fact
a great
that it's no offence, but it starts
with
Pierce Brosnan, and then it's like, well, Daniel, what about? Have you seen the Sean Connery? You've seen the Roger Moore. You've seen the George Lazenby.
I've seen them all. I mean, Sean Connery is the ultimate Bond, right? Because he was the first Bond, so I think it's really hard to beat that. I think that's the bar.
Yeah.
Who's your favourite Bond?
I vary between the two because they're so different. I like Roger Moore because they're funny. They're like different movies. They're very different with him. And everybody has their own spin. But even George Lazenby, which was my favourite film, which was on Her Majesty's Secret Service, which is a really good film.
Really good film. Yeah.
But he was in there, and so that was just
he just didn't have the Bond vibe for me. There was something about his portrayal of Bond that didn't work for me.
It's a very particular role.
It is. But I did like Pierce Brosnan. I thought Pierce Brosnan was excellent.
Very good, isn't he?
I thought this debate was getting. I thought they were going to pick a Bond by now. I mean, it's been going on forever.
It has been going on forever.
Who's your dream Bond?
I think it's Alex Armstrong. I think.
You'd be a very good Bond.
I'd be a terrible James Bond.
You've got that smooth, suave thing.
No. I have no way.
I think you'd be very good.
I'd be a good villain.
No. No, your face is too cute to be a villain.
Definitely can't be James Bond.
I don't know. I'm trying to think. I used to think Idris Elba.
Yeah.
Because he's a fantastic actor.
He's too old anyway.
But now he's too old.
Yeah.
He's too old anyway.
How old is James Bond actually supposed to be? I bet Fraser knows.
I think
that.
he's...
Is it 32, 33, something
Fraser
like that?
Myers
I think they ever describe his age in the books.
He knows everything about everything.
He's timeless, isn't he? I think that's...
Well, the books, don't the books start with him being in his 20s?
Oh, really?
But they're also like very specific. You know, he's actually Scottish, isn't he?
Yes.
He's privately educated.
That's
I
right.
guess the debate is, what do you think James Bond is? Is he a cool spy or is he a specific character? And I think, you know, there's been so many iterations of Bond that you can have, I think, quite a radical departure from the original without it ruining it.
Bond is between 32 to 44, by the way.
There you go.
Well, I fit in there perfectly then.
Interesting.
It'll be great.
All right, well, there you go. We won't
You
be
fit
answering
that age
this.
bracket very well.
Yeah, I do, actually, yeah.
So there you go.
But then so do many better people than me.
Let us know what you think. Who's your dream Bond? gbnews.com/you'll say.
Right, well, it's 4 minutes past 7, and counter-terrorism police are now leading the investigation into the death of Anne Widdecombe after new information and evidence has come to light.
Well, speaking in the House of Commons, the Home Secretary vowed to assess security advice for former MPs.
I recognise the particular concern that the Reform Party will feel today, and of course Nigel Farage, the party's leader. I'm happy to offer a meeting for Mr Farage with the chair of RAVIC, the independent body within the Home Office that manages the security of those in public life. And I will also be looking at what security guidance can be provided to former members of Parliament, which I hope to work with you on, Mr Speaker, as well as those who serve a party outside of this place.
Well, this comes after a 28-year-old white British man was rearrested on suspicion of commission, preparation or instigation of acts of terrorism.
We're now joined by GB News Home and Security Editor Mark White from Devon. Mark, bring us up to speed on this investigation.
Well, this was a very dramatic turn of events yesterday afternoon. That confirmation first from the Home Secretary and then later from Lawrence Taylor, Assistant Commissioner at Scotland Yard in charge of the UK's counter-terrorism police service. He said, and the Home Secretary said, that there were multiple new lines of inquiry that had convinced detectives that this was now an act linked to an act of terrorism, and that's why counter-terrorism policing have now taken over this investigation going forward. And it means, of course, that they have more time because of complex counter-terrorism investigations. There is more time that detectives have to interview and detain suspects on terrorism charges before they then have to reach that point in 2 weeks' time of either charging or releasing an individual. And as I say, the Home Secretary, when she addressed the Commons in a very sombre statement, said that it was a complex case, that there were multiple lines of inquiry that need to be pursued with regard to this individual who was arrested in Rotherham at 9 o'clock on Saturday night and then taken down to the Devon and Cornwall Police Force area for questioning. As I say, it has now been taken out of the hands of Devon and Cornwall Police. It is now being controlled by those counter-terrorism officers from counter-terrorism policing South East, and they will bring their expertise to the fore as well, because they are well used to counter-terrorism detectives dealing with the most complex of investigations and wherever that investigation might lead. And separately from that, of course, there is some criticism of Devon and Cornwall Police by the way in which they seem to be ruling out any links to terrorism or a political motivation from the get-go. It was right at the very earliest opportunity when they announced that there was a murder inquiry. Front and centre of that announcement was their belief that they had found no evidence, which I'm sure was absolutely true at that time. But then subsequent statements that were put out over the days that followed, again, they just kept reiterating that they had found no evidence of terrorism. And what that invites, of course, the public to do is just steer away from that as being a possible issue. And Jonathan Hall, who is the independent reviewer of terrorism, said that he believed that kind of really just is against the golden rule of these complex investigations, which is just not to go there, not to make those kind of judgment calls. If you're not sure one way or the other, you just say, you know, you're not ruling anything in or anything out.
Indeed, Mark, and I think that is going to be the narrative that many people will be talking about online when it comes to hopefully the end of this investigation and the conclusion of it, but also how the police have handled the situation, which I don't think anyone is happy with. Mark White, thank you so much for joining us there live from Devon to bring us up to speed on the latest on that very important news.
Yeah, and any developments we get, of course, Mark will be across them and he will bring that to us, won't he, on GB News?
Yes.
Now, in other news today, the government has confirmed that it will change the law so that Rochdale grooming gang ringleader Shabir Ahmed can be deported.
Well, Ahmed was released earlier this month after serving just 14 years of a 22-year sentence for his part in a Rochdale grooming gang.
Well, the Home Secretary has confirmed that laws will be changed regarding the loophole preventing Ahmed from being deported.
Well, joined by Fraser Myers, indeed, Deputy Editor at Spikes Online. Fraser, look, I mean, so many people are furious with this. I'm glad the Home Secretary has seen that she needed to act, because this law is archaic. It doesn't have any place in Britain in 2026, in my opinion. What was that law that was changed, first of all, just so people understand it? And will this mean that he can go back to Pakistan?
Yeah, so this is a loophole from the 1971 Immigration Act, and it essentially said that any Commonwealth citizens who came to the UK, if they arrived, I think, before 1973, then they cannot be deported. They essentially have a right to stay in Britain, come what may. Now, clearly, usually when someone commits a very serious crime, we deport them regardless of their settlement status, and often we strip people of their citizenship, of their UK citizenship, as we have done with Shabir Ahmed. But clearly this law has created a hurdle. Repealing it, though, won't be enough. That's the problem, because the other side of this is Pakistan, and Pakistan has generally refused to take foreign criminals of all kind, which is, you know, a pretty flagrant breach of the norms here. Usually you accept that when your countryman has done wrong, then you have to ultimately have responsibility for taking them back. And so this is not really going to work necessarily until, I think, more pressure is applied on Pakistan, until it's become accepted, until they accept that they have to do their part in this. They insist that someone like Shabir Ahmed is not a Pakistani citizen because he renounced their citizenship. Lots of people tear up their passports and things like that when they come here. But I don't think that's an acceptable response, really. This clearly can't go on. There are so many examples of particularly grooming gang rapists from Pakistan, and very few of them, if any, have been deported. This is an issue that the government should be raising at the highest level, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Elsewhere today, Fraser, can we talk about this story? David and Ed Miliband are both eyeing up top jobs in Number 10. Tell us more.
So, Ed Miliband, the Energy Secretary, is tipped potentially to be the next Chancellor, but we may also see the return of his brother, now that the pair are said to have buried the hatchet. And David Miliband is looking at a foreign policy role. There was previously talk that he might be brought in as Foreign Secretary, similarly to how David Cameron was brought in under Rishi Sunak, probably through the House of Lords and then whisked into the Cabinet. I mean, did it work for Rishi Sunak? Probably not. But it seems as if Andy Burnham wants to outsource his thinking on foreign policy. It's not a big focus of his. He wants to concentrate on the domestic agenda and leave the foreign policy stuff to someone else. But David Miliband, the latest report suggests he'd prefer to be the ambassador to Washington, that sort of cursed role that caused Keir Starmer all that trouble with Peter Mandelson. But I could understand why. That's clearly a less politically contentious job.
Comes with a nice big house.
Comes with a nice big house. Miliband is currently earning £1 million a year at a charity, so-called charity, the International Rescue Committee. This is how these NGOs and charities, they get a lot of government money, and the people who work for them get very, very handsomely rewarded for saving lives, as they would say it. But clearly, it's a huge, huge salary. if he were to become Foreign Secretary, he would take a massive pay cut. He'd get about 10% of what he's currently earning. So I think the Washington role comes with enough perks that would make that pay cut worth it. I think, we should be a bit wary of Miliband's return. I mean, a number of reasons, partly because it just signals a return, back to the future of New Labour. Do we really want to revive that kind of project? He was seen as a key figure in that. He's a staunch supporter of the ECHR, so I doubt he'd be particularly helpful in terms of controlling Britain's borders, which would be necessary if he were to become Foreign Secretary. And if he were to take up a role in America, I mean, he is well connected in the US, but within democratic circles. He's good friends with the Clintons, but the Clintons aren't in charge.
No.
They need to have someone with good links to the Trump administration and to Republicans, certainly for the next couple of years.
And it would seem almost foolish for Andy Burnham to not learn the lessons of Keir Starmer and make political appointments into the role of ambassador, which, of course, is possibly one of the key lessons. Leave that to the diplomats.
Absolutely, and especially if Andy Burnham is going to be someone who is wants to take his eye off foreign policy, wants to concentrate on domestic matters, then I think hiring someone like David Miliband would be the wrong person. He would essentially, he embodies the worst of New Labour. He embodies the worst of Starmer. He's obsessed with international law, wants to drag us back to the European Union. These are all things that could actually blow up domestically, that could be potentially dangerous for Burnham in the next couple of years.
What benefit would there be for Andy Burnham to give David Miliband a job anyway? What's he offering? Like, do you see what I'm saying? It's like, what is the drive? Ed Miliband's a powerful cabinet minister. He has a lot of support in Labour. You can see how he's leveraging his position. What position has David Miliband got?
That's absolutely right. I mean, he hasn't been involved in politics for a very long time. I suppose there are many people within Labour circles who see him as, the missed opportunity. If he had won instead of his brother, perhaps Labour might have done better in recent elections. But I don't think that's true. Miliband, as you say, has a loyal base. Ed Miliband, I should say, has a loyal base within the Labour Party. As hard as it is to believe to ordinary folk, he is actually the most popular cabinet minister among Labour Party members. They support his net zero agenda, which many people disagree with and are worried about what it means for the economy. But David Miliband, he is someone out of the cold. It would benefit David Miliband. I don't think it would benefit Andy Burnham. He might get a few good headlines, a few good write-ups in the broadsheet press of people who, yearn to go back to the days of Tony Blair. But that's not where the public is, and I think it would be soon forgotten or worse for him.
OK. Fraser Myers, been good to have your company today. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now, at 16 minutes past 7, let's take a look at some other stories coming into the newsroom this morning.
The UAE has accused Iran of a brazen attack on 2 tankers in the Strait of Hormuz yesterday, killing 1 and wounding 8. It comes as Donald Trump says the United States will impose a 20% charge as part of a new blockade on the waterway.
The Hillsborough Bill returns to the House of Commons today, marking a major milestone for families and campaigners. Government amendments will set out how public bodies disclose information while protecting national security.
And British troops will stand shoulder to shoulder with French forces today in the Bastille Day parade in Paris. Soldiers from the Grenadier Guards will march through the French capital too. Sir Keir Starmer is also visiting France with other leaders from the Coalition of the Willing.
And pubs are expected to serve more than 64 million no and low alcohol beers this summer. The British Beer and Pub Association says the category is no longer a fad, but a defining part of the sector. Lots of you getting in touch on the James Bond story this morning. Gina's comment caught my eye, saying that there's only one man for the job.
Yes.
James Norton.
Well, there was also other people saying Henry Cavill.
Now, that's a great idea. Because if you're thinking of an English gentleman, a British gentleman, Henry Cavill.
Yep.
Makes sense.
Yep.
James Norton might be good as a villain. He's got that
vibe about him, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's got that villainous
Isn't he in the
streak.
new Game of Thrones series at the moment, playing a villain?
Oh, is he?
Yeah, I think he might be. Maybe I'm getting confused.
Well, there you go.
Anyway, shall we have a quick look at your weather?
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good morning. It's time for your GB News weather forecast from the Met Office. And now it is going to be another mostly sunny and hot day for many of us, even though at the moment there's actually quite a bit of cloud around. That cloud has come in from the east overnight, but it is generally going to break up and burn away as we go through this morning. Just some lingering low cloud towards some North Sea coastal parts. Lots of sunshine then by the afternoon, and in that sunshine, well, it's going to feel pretty hot indeed. Temperatures generally ranging from highs in the very high 20s, possibly low 30s towards the south, to the high teens, low 20s towards the north. There is still a bit of a breeze, particularly towards some coastal parts. That will take the edge off the heat a little bit. Into the evening, and there's not a huge amount of change, to be honest. There's some low clouds still around those eastern coastal parts of Scotland. Across central and western areas, however, it's a bright, fine end to the day, similar across much of Northern Ireland. Again, still some cloud around those North Sea coastal parts of England, and that cloud is again going to start to push its way a bit further inland through the end of the evening and overnight. Most places, though, sticking with the largely clear skies for a little while yet. But yes, similar to last night, really, that cloud in the east is going to become more widespread, and there's also the potential for a bit of cloud to come into some southwestern parts, Devon and Cornwall, likely to see some cloud at times overnight, but it's going to stay dry. Temperatures holding up for most, so low to mid-teens, high teens in a fair few places, especially towards the south, so feeling pretty warm indeed, still quite uncomfortable for sleeping. Again, we're going to see most of that cloud that pushes in overnight burning away through tomorrow morning, still just lingering towards those eastern coastal parts for some. Otherwise, a bit of cloud here and there, could be quite high-level clouds, so maybe just turning the sunshine a bit hazy at times, but generally it's looking fine, sunny, and with that, temperatures similar to today, so a good chance of getting into the low 30s. See you later.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Now, do stay with us till it's come. Paul's here with all your sports.
England versus Argentina and Erling Haaland and his stuffed raccoon. How about that? We'll do it next.
Raccoon.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There, you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Bold.
They are under no illusion.
Ray. Are you a human trafficker? Boundless. I've had enough of the nonsense, and I'm not afraid to say it.
Don't get us on the BBC.
Every weeknight, I tear through the headlines. The smell of gasoline.
Should we be worried about it?
From Westminster madness to cultural war chaos.
What I'm going to do now is they are throwing things up the car as we speak.
Get ready, Britain. Here we go. Patrick Christie tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first.
Well, and that's what you get on GB News. Lively debates, lively conversation.
And we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pearce.
And me, Miriam Cates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
Do you trust what you're being told? Good, because neither do I.
Those are just facts.
I'm Alex Armstrong, and on my show, we'll expose the spin.
Well, I want to answer that because you didn't let me last time, because you always speak over me.
The broken promises.
To deny that is denying the truth.
And the hypocrisy.
Allow.
Stop.
You think we can allow?
Politics, policy, parliament. Nothing is off limits. No sugarcoating, no fear of offence, just the truth laid bare. Tune in every Saturday and Sunday at 9 p.m. for Alex Armstrong Tonight, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation,
No,
isn't it?
no,
Because the failure is
you're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back,
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
and we do not shy away from the difficult stuff.
Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood.
So join me on Dubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel. Some people enjoy lazy Sunday mornings, but not me.
What's the truth of the matter?
So that's a very live question. Would you support him if he waters down these plans?
Before the spin sets in, I'll be getting to the truth.
This is personal.
No soft questions, no easy answers.
It's one thing if the state has rules in this country. It's another thing whether the police and others actually police them.
Setting the agenda and holding those in power to account.
You can't really blame her if the system is set up this way. You will not want to miss it, trust me.
The Camilla Tominey Show, Sundays from 9:30, only on GB News.
Right, it's time to go through all the sports with Paul Coyte.
There's a game on tomorrow.
Is there? What
There is a
that?
game on tomorrow. It could be one of those moments where, do you remember where you were when that happened? So you have to think carefully about where you're going to watch it, who you're going to be with.
I don't know where I'm watched this game yet.
Right.
I've had a few offers.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
Oh, have you?
I have actually.
Have you now? He's a man in demand.
I have.
Oh, have you?
I've had a few offers, but I haven't decided yet.
But you're going to be
What
with your
sort of
brothers,
offers?
aren't you?
I'm not actually, because my little brother's away.
Oh.
So actually, it's kind of sad.
I've got the wrong end of the stick. Oh, that's today.
That's today.
Sorry.
Yeah, I've got graduation to go to today.
You do.
Ellie, how are you going to watch it?
At home, because it's late.
Okay.
But I watch the whole thing.
Okay.
Then I go to bed.
With a little tipple?
I
or a
think
cup
so.
of tea?
Brandy.
Do you know what? We'll see how it goes.
Okay.
If it's looking good,
If it starts getting a bit wobbly, it might need a little bit of help.
might need a little help.
Okay.
Will be worth tuning in for breakfast just to see how that plays out
See,
for Ellie.
Yeah, which it won't go well.
Because
And for you, actually, Paul, as well.
As you can imagine that most people outside of England in Great Britain, I assume, would be wanting Argentina.
I don't know.
I hate that.
Can I
thought.
say this? Can I say this?
You say whatever you want.
I've been looking online, and young people are overwhelmingly supporting England.
Oh, well, that's good to hear.
Yes.
Argentina isn't very well liked globally.
Well, that's
It's
it.
the impression
In
I'm
South
getting.
America,
Yes.
I think most would be preferring England to win, who are not Argentinian.
Well, there's this conspiracy that FIFA are trying to set up the World Cup for Argentina to win amongst young people. I know it's rubbish, but that's what young people think, so now they're backing England.
It's going to be really
First time
interesting
ever.
to see, and we'll be watching very closely if any defender gets near Lionel Messi, if there's a touch, whether he gets favourable decisions towards him. But let's worry about that when it happens. Jordan Pickford was speaking yesterday, talking about how, because the thing is, what is great about this World Cup, there is no question that it is bringing the nation together, and that's what I love to see, and everybody enjoying. I mean, and not only us, but you look at Norway, you look at other countries. It's just been a really good feeling, and especially with all the worry about the World Cup and FIFA and how dodgy they've been, and the price of tickets, everything seems to be working out quite nicely. This is what Jordan Pickford had to say yesterday.
You know how we feel. You see us after each and every game, and to have the nation behind us back at home, it doesn't go unseen. We know how much it means to them, but it also knows how much it means to us, and we pay huge credit to them, enjoying themselves, and we're doing it for them as well. We've brought this nation together. That was the first goal in looking back at 2018. It was about connecting that nation together now, and now it's that step. Now we're in the semi-final, and we know we can't look past Argentina. It's going to be a top game, but we want to put smiles on their faces as well.
See, in my opinion, Gareth Southgate brought them together, and he mentions about, bringing the country together, and he was very good at that, especially with the press. If we go back 20 years or even look back on old World Cups, newspapers would always look for any dirt about England players. There was always something, an expose about someone, and it was always a very bad experience for players, whereas now it seems very different. It seems that everybody's behind them.
That's true.
So Gareth Southgate and his relationship with the press has been very good. But it seemed like he didn't know how to get England over the line, and now with Thomas Tuchel, I feel as if we've got someone that knows how to win tournaments.
I have to say, Jude Bellingham is on the front page of almost every single newspaper today. It's a bit of a sultry look. He's in a hot tub.
He's in a hot tub.
But you know what? Everything's good, right? Everything's good.
Sun's good here. They're pitting Bellingham against Messi.
Yeah.
This is the kind of stuff we want to see from the British media when we're going up against Argentina, because it's a very emotional game for British people.
Of course it is.
For
of
many
course
reasons.
it is. And for Argentinian fans as well. It's going to be huge.
Yes.
I just hope there's no trouble.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the first real where there's going to be something, there's a real rivalry going on there. But the game is going to be terrific. Actually, talking about the rivalry and the way it goes back to 1966 when England beat Argentina in, I think it was the quarterfinals of 1966. Antonio Ratin, who was the captain of Argentina, who ironically passed away only this weekend. Very famous name, but he got sent off. And there was Alf Ramsey went out on the pitch afterwards and said to all the England players, don't shake hands with them. He wouldn't have them shaking hands, wouldn't have them changing shirts. But we've got an old piece of footage. This is from 1966. This is a British FIFA official going through some of the problems that they had and some of the bans that were actually put on Argentinian players. Have a look at this.
Football Association be fined in the sum of 1,000 Swiss francs, the maximum permitted by FIFA statutes. The player number 10, Ratin, who was sent off the field, be suspended for the next 4 international A matches arranged by the Argentine FA. The player number 20, Onega, for having spat in the face of the official commissar, be suspended for the next 3 international A matches arranged by the Argentine FA.
I love it when they use talk like that.
I love it. He is arranged, but it's interesting that you'd get banned for 4 games for a red card, but only 3 games for spitting in the face of the commissar.
Absolutely appalling.
I was shocked.
Very terrible.
Anyway, that's back in 66. Norman Giller was a man that was there throughout the whole of the tournament of 1966, and he's written a book about that, and he will be with us after 8:30. I'm very much looking forward to it. He's a legendary sports journalist, is Norman, so he'll be with us very soon.
Fantastic stuff. Thank you, Paul.
Pleasure.
It's now time for a Great British giveaway, actually.
What do you have to give away?
We've got a gold bar.
A gold bar, I say?
£5,000, yes. £5,000 for a gold bar and £60,000 in Great British sterling.
£60,000?
Here are all the details you need.
We're celebrating a golden summer, as you could win a totally tax-free £60,000 in cash to spend on anything you like. Imagine all of the fun you could have this year with that. You could spend it on treats, save it for a rainy day, or give you the chance to chill out and relax on the perfect getaway. Plus, we're going to give you a £5,000 gold bar that you could keep, trade, or gift to a loved one and secure their financial future. You really could be enjoying gold and £60,000 cash in our golden summer celebration.
For a chance to win £60,000 in tax-free cash and a real gold bar, text GOLD to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus 1 standard network rate message. Or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus 1 standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entry start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB22 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 21st of August. This is a network giveaway. Entries will be pooled. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Yes, good luck. Now, this one is grinding your gears this morning, I think it's fair to say.
It is.
We're asking, should James Bond remain white and male? Well, the casting chief behind 14 of the Bond films...
Who has done this? This is dreadful.
You'd be a great Bond.
No, that's
You'd be
absolutely
so
appalling.
Good.
That is appalling. That's appalling.
Oh, I think you look brilliant. If you're listening on the radio, it's Alex as Bond.
Where's my neck?
In a tux. It suits you. It's very, very good. Or do you think Bond should be a woman? Look at that. It's uncanny.
Lot are terrible.
Very
You're terrible.
good.
You're terrible.
Do you think that Bond should be a woman or black? Those are the options.
Bond should be a straight white man, ideally Scottish, but, you know, if not, English is fine.
OK. Well, let us know what you think. You certainly have a view.
Get rid of this camera shot.
We're going to be talking about this next.
Thank you, Britain, for the thousands of you who are becoming friends of GB News each and every week.
Good morning, this is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. The A428 is closed after the A1. The A46 southbound is closed after the A428. The A27 eastbound is closed after the A285. There is an obstruction on the M25 clockwise at junction 27 in Godstone. Traffic is slow with queues on the M2 westbound slip road between junctions 4 and 3 in Chatham. In Scotland, the A977 is closed in both directions between Kilbeggy Roundabout and Ferrygate due to planned roadworks. And on the trains, Avanti West Coast has a reduced service between Chester and Crewe, and East Midlands railway services are affected by hot weather. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk now?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
The fact is Trump made a good start, no.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up?
About 10. So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m, only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
He can say whatever he wants.
A straight talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Exciting news. Every Friday, my Patrick Christie's Tonight Show is going to have a twist to it. We're welcoming some special guests. You. That's right, on Fridays I'm going to be doing my show in front of a live studio audience because this show is about you and what you have to say. It's going to be the same big debates, same big topics, same big opinions, but every Friday night at 9 p.m, you are invited to come on down to Patrick Christie's Tonight to be a part of the action. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Hang on, Simon. Alex is too short to be Bond. I'm 5'11". I'm not that short.
He's bringing you back down to earth.
He is.
With that one.
I don't want to be Bond anyway.
Yeah.
All right? Didn't want to be Bond anyway.
I think you'd be a great
Please
Bond.
stop showing this.
I think you'd be a great Bond. Look, someone's worked very hard on that.
That's dreadful.
Oh,
it's dreadful. Why is my head so massive?
I think you look very suave. Very good.
This is ridiculous. Right, well, calls are mounting for 007 to be reinvented to either a black actor or a woman, or indeed me at this point. That's how desperate we are.
Well, a casting chief for the franchise has reacted, stating that James Bond must be white and a male, and that Ian Fleming wrote a character, and that's the character that stays.
Yes, that's right. So this morning we're asking, should Bond stay white and male?
Well, let's speak to Tom Pickup, the host of the Really 007 podcast, who joins us now. Morning to you, Tom. What do you think? Should James Bond stay white and male?
Yes, I think that's probably the best course of action. If you think about it, Amazon have taken over Bond about a year ago, and they're a big company, aren't they? And this is a risk, isn't it? They don't want to be seen to cast their first James Bond in anything other than the most popular Bond to everybody. So if you're a casting director, like Debbie McWilliams has said, the previous one, I suppose it'd be who would be the most popular? What's the safest thing to do? So I think, you know, in other iterations, you know, there's nothing to say he couldn't be anything other than white, but this is the first one back, so I think it will be the safe thing to do. And it has to be a man. That's non-negotiable. I think audiences would instantly be complaining, and they want as little controversy going into this new film as they can.
Yeah.
So that's my view, certainly.
Now, can we give a counter-argument here? You know, I'm not saying I believe this, but I think it's good to hear both sides of the story. Many people will say, actually, Bond represents modern Britain, therefore it should change with the times, therefore we should look at expanding the casting, look at expanding diversity, maybe have a black actor represent Bond. Would there be anything wrong with that? And I know Idris Elba is a man, you know, Ellie was talking about him earlier on. Many people say he would make a great James Bond. Would there be anything wrong with that?
I mean, I wouldn't object to it personally, but I do think that you just poking the bear. You know, there's no need not to do it any differently. You're absolutely right when you said before that, of course, Ian Fleming wrote the character as a white British heterosexual man. But things can change. You know, it's been over 60 years since the books were written, so things change on the screen. Now, you know, there was controversy when Daniel Craig was announced as Bond because he was a little bit shorter, blonde hair, and maybe didn't fit that Sean Connery, Pierce Brosnan, smouldering, dark and handsome look. So you can change the look a bit if the Bond actor does everything else really well. And it's just putting yourself, you know, it's fighting an uphill battle from the start. What they want, I'm sure, is the common denominator Bond to please all fans. So there's no need to do anything too drastic, but, you know, let's just wait and see before the person's announced. And I think they'll be more interested in getting a famous name, won't they, to try and get the younger audience back.
So, Tom, if you were a betting man, who would you say is going to be the next Bond?
Well, the two that the press seem to have got at the moment are Jacob Elordi and Callum Turner. Now, they look a bit different to what we've had before as well. You know, Callum Turner's perhaps more boyish, of course, younger than the other actors. Jacob Elordi is too, and he's extremely tall. So both of them, even though on paper might be more acceptable to audiences because they're quite well known, I mean, my choice would still be Henry Cavill. I know he's...
Our viewers are all saying the same thing, Tom.
Early to mid-40s. I know that's very old. I can't believe that I'm saying that these days. But I think Roger Moore was about 45 when he was cast. So I think the problem is they want to do these films, you know, with the actor for like 10 to 15 years. So if you're already that, they don't want you to be 60 by the time you're doing your last Bond film.
Well, Amazon bought MGM Studios, who look after the Bond brand, if I'm correct in saying that. Please correct me if I'm wrong. They have come under criticism for things like their depiction of their writing of the Lord of the Rings series, which many people criticise for being quote unquote woke, shoving diversity down people's throats. Is this perhaps Amazon's got a bit of a habit of wanting to create controversy to stir up attention to acquisitions they make? Is there a risk that they might do something similar here?
Yeah, I think in this conversation, as it builds up, there's going to be these sort of chats about what on earth they're going to do, because everyone's not a clue, have they? Anything can happen. But it's different to Lord of the Rings, of course, because that's like a fantasy world where I suppose the rules are more flexible. Here, we know that this is a British institution. The other characters, of course, have been, other than white, you know, we've had Black Moneypenny, of course, Naomi Harris, the last one. There's absolutely no controversy in that, really. So there's other ways to sort of do that and make sure that the casting is diverse and reflects the period. But of course, you know, the baddie, I don't think we've had a black baddie for a long, long time. What's wrong with that? A woman baddie, absolutely nothing wrong with that either.
That's a good idea.
So I think in the past they might have been a bit scared of doing anything slightly negative in those senses. So yeah, nothing's off the table for those roles, but I do think Bond, I'd be very surprised if Bond wasn't anything other than a white man who's probably late 20s to mid-30s.
Tom, really good to get your perspective this morning. Thank you so much.
Do you know what one of my favourite Bond moments was? It wasn't actually in any of the movies. It was when the late Queen Elizabeth
yes, the Olympics. Yes,
I mean,
Daniel
obviously,
Craig.
it wasn't her parachuting, obviously. I didn't have to say that for anyone to know. But wasn't that just a brilliant moment?
So British.
She was just
one of my
favourite
moments of the late Queen as well.
Yeah. It was just, I think it just made us all smile, didn't it? That moment with her. Brilliant stuff.
Julie's been in touch saying Idris Elba, oh yes, he'd be a great Bond. I'm not sure, I'll be honest, about Callum Turner or Jacob Elordi.
I'm not sure. Either of those two don't do it for me, for Bond. But
it's not the British gentleman thing.
That's right.
Henry Cavill, I think, is a great shout.
They're trying to go for this more. I think they're going to try and go for this younger, sort of more American-style Bond.
No, we don't want that. We don't want that.
No, I'm not a big fan.
Anyway, keep your views coming in.
Yeah. Still to come, though, new airline rules that are set to come into effect next year will make it a lot easier for travellers.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it? We're going to get all the details on that with David Wooding and Tali Fraser. That's up next.
But first, here's your forecast for our top European destinations.
Can't wait to get in that sea.
Lovely and warm.
Just like the feeling of having great travel insurance.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast. Whilst we've been talking about heat across the UK for a while, we've been talking about heat across parts of Europe for even longer, and the exceptionally hot spell does look set to continue. It's more across parts of France, but also pushing into eastern Spain, where we're seeing the very high temperatures compared to average. But even further south, well, here it is pretty hot, and temperatures for parts of Italy getting into the high 30s or low 40s. With all that, lots of sunshine, but do watch out for a bit of showery rain. Bye-bye.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
This is GB News, Britain's news channel.
But what message would you just like to say? Because this one's voted for by the public.
Yes.
And it's all down to the viewers. What message have you got for those guys?
Well, we've got the best viewers in the world, haven't we? The most loyal viewers, the best viewers. And, of course, they've supported Breakfast for so many years with Ellie and all the other members of Breakfast. And, you know, we can't do it without them.
Yeah, I think we are unique, GB News, in the way that our viewers are really central to everything that we do. So, you know, with our GB Views at gbnews.com, we're always reading off the comments. We have viewers on all the time to talk to us about our stories. I think we are the only place that actually has our viewers front and centre. So it's so nice to have something back in a Trick Award when they recognise, you know, the hard work that we try and do every single year. So please God, 4 years on the trot would be great, wouldn't it?
GB News, the People's Channel. This is GB News, Britain's news channel.
Now wearing a Pegasus necklace badge commemorating the airborne forces. This week, 76 years ago, started the Korean War, often known as the Forgotten War. This is an opportunity for remembrance as well, isn't it?
That's right. In remembering with all of the conflicts, you know, it's affected every single person here who is in uniform. But it doesn't just stop there. Once they do get to the end of their service, they're often felt like they're forgotten about. So a big part of it is about remembering those that have fallen, but also those that are still alive and that are still with their own struggles. I wouldn't be able to do the job that I do now. I lead international expeditions and have done for the last 30 years. And the majority of those skills and that skill set and why I get asked back come directly from my time in the service, my time in the Royal Marines.
GB News, the People's Channel. This is GB News, Britain's news channel.
GB News Breakfast has won the Trick Awards for the 4th year on the trot. I'm here with Alex Armstrong and Diamond and Ellie Costello. Guys, congratulations. Ellie, how does it feel?
Just incredible. I was really hoping we could do it 4 years on the bounce, but you can't take these things for granted, can you? And I did think maybe they'll want to give it to someone else this year, and I really, really wanted us to win, because Anne is here from her cruise.
Brilliant, yeah.
And Anne, your acceptance speech was amazing. You reflected on your years in the industry. How much does this mean?
I was able to hold one of these was 40 years ago, 1986, for the same sort of breakfast television programme that they said would never catch on.
There you go.
Full circle moment.
And what message have you got for GB News viewers? Because obviously this is voted for by the public.
Oh, it's thanks. I mean, it's real thanks, because that's why this award is so important.
GB News, the People's Channel.
Welcome back. We're going through the papers this morning with Tali Fraser and David Wooding. Morning, you two.
Morning.
David, this is very welcome news, if it works. In the Times, airlines are going to be banned from charging fees for hand luggage. That'd be nice.
Well, this is our friends, the EU. They're going to ban airlines from charging you extra for your baggage, but it's actually a little bit of window dressing, if I may debunk this, because what it says is that when you book it, you say £120 for your flight, and then you book it, and then you get, do you want to take a bag, and you have to pay an extra 40 quid for your bag.
50 quid, yeah.
They say that must be at the beginning when you buy it. So you're not going to get away with paying for your baggage, but you'll have to. But you will know when you book it. And there's also good stuff about delays, if it's more than 3 hours, about the compensation you get. The interesting thing is, though, British Airlines will be able to avoid this because the rules only apply to planes departing from EU countries, not those travelling to EU countries. So British Airways, to name a British carrier, could, for instance, flout the rules on the outward journey But would they have to do it on the inward journey? The likelihood is that they won't, because it's just simpler to have a one.
Yeah, so really not that much change is the answer here.
No, but it's a bit more transparent.
Yes.
I have to say, I preferred it in the old days when flying was a luxury, and you got an in-flight meal, your baggage went in the hold, and it was all included in the price, and you knew what you're getting. It was a little bit of a luxury. I mean, a lot of people only fly once or twice a year on holiday, and it was a bit of fun and pleasure, but the pleasure's all gone out.
Budget airlines, isn't it? They've dragged us all down with them, haven't they, Tali?
Mm-hmm. I know, I was so excited when I saw the story, and I thought, wow, finally, because I've definitely been caught out a few times.
Yeah, definitely.
I have to sort of pay at the airport, and it's an extortionate fee. But alas.
I would just like it if they could just sort the queuing system out in Europe, first of all, because the fact that we all have to still march through their silly gate system just because we are part of the EU, which is just a punishment, isn't it?
The Brits get held back, don't they?
And they come to Britain and they can all go through our e-gates because, again, the system actually works if they want it to. I don't like all this politics around. That's what really annoys me, but that's a whole different story.
Fly to Greece. We went to Greece this year, and in fact, I read it. Since we came back, that the Greece are just ignoring the rules, and you just sail through when you go to Greece.
Oh, wow.
So there you go.
Go Greece, go Greece.
David, please can we look at the Times, page 3, and what is the Prime Minister's last act going to be?
Well, it's going to be going to the World Cup final if England do the business tomorrow against Argentina.
He's timed that well, hasn't he?
It would be interesting.
One final freebie.
No, do you know what I reckon? Do you know what I reckon he'll do? Because he's supposed to be resigning on the Monday morning, and then Andy Burnham going to see the King Monday, an hour or so later. If I were Keir Starmer and you were at the World Cup final and England won the World Cup, I'd say, well, you know, we're overnighting. I can't go and see the King Monday. I'm going to put it off till Wednesday. Then I'd come back and I'd invite the England team round on the Tuesday night to celebrate a number 10 and just sort of leave Andy Burnham out in the cold a little.
And then have a coup.
Yeah.
A sit-in.
He'd have a bounce then, wouldn't he? Someone's going to get a bounce.
Yes. This is the thing, there is one good record for Keir Starmer, which is that England have won 76% of their international games since he came to power. So at least there's one thing that if they manage to win the World Cup, and it's the last sort of act of Starmer's thing to be there, that's at least one nice way for him to go out.
Yeah, to be fair.
He can't take any credit for it. So.
He just happens.
I'm sure he'll try to. I'm sure he'll try to, but yes.
Do you think he'll go for a bank holiday?
Yes, I think
he will.
He will be on the Friday. Do you know, the last time England won the World Cup, or the only time England won the World Cup, we did have a Labour Prime Minister. Not only was he a Labour Prime Minister, the only other Northern Prime Minister we've had, and we're about to get a new Northern Prime Minister. But one other thing, Harold Wilson, who was then the Prime Minister, was MP for Huyton, which is only 9 miles away from Makerfield, where they're Prime Minister. So it might be a little omen.
Although that Andy Burnham won't technically be Prime Minister until the day after. So maybe it's not the right omen we're looking for. Who knows? Who knows? We've got time for one more quick story here. Burnham must cut energy bills.
Yeah, so it goes back to what we were talking about earlier with, Ed Miliband trying to become Chancellor. The nation's sort of finances and people feeling the cost of living. Energy and finances are so linked that, Andy Burnham is coming under a lot of demand to cut energy bills. And I think he's going to find it quite difficult to do so unless he sort of ditches Ed Miliband's climate zealotry.
Well, he might be up for now, as we're hearing.
Which he might be up for, because, as we now know, Ed Miliband seems totally shameless.
I'm sure he would disagree vehemently with that characterisation.
I'm sure he would. But yes, I guess it's to be seen whether he ditches his policies.
What do you think, David?
Yeah, well, energy prices here are 45% above the G7 average, and it's clearly hampering business. And when we've got stuttering growth, it's the right thing to do.
We're the second highest energy in terms of household, behind only Germany in the world.
Wow, it's quite a lot.
It's not good, is it?
No. We've actually got time for one more. Go on, this last one here. Cheers. Drinker on mammoth pub crawl around the UK reaches 10,000th alehouse.
Yeah, it's quite something,
Well,
isn't it?
It's so British. I love it.
It is so British. And he's only been going since March 2022. So that's 10,000 in this time, which I think is
That's him there.
impressive.
Well, he does look... Well, it doesn't look like he's been on 10,000. I dare say so. I hope he's not offended
He's
by
not
that.
the gentleman at the top of the page. He's the
No,
one.
okay.
That
Okay, fair enough.
to be clear.
Thank you. So I can't
would be
see the
really
shot of the
bad
screen from here, if I'm
Just
being
to be
honest with
clear.
you. There we go. Okay, good
That's
to
a
know.
before and
No
after.
offence intended, by the way.
He's averaging, it's quite a few a day, isn't
Yeah, it's averaging between 15 and 20 pubs per working day.
Yeah, and good on him.
He's drinking half a pint. Each.
Very wise too. He says he's hoping to highlight all the pubs that are closing,
We've gotta
as
go.
well as the importance of the pub. Very good too. Thank you very much.
Thank you
two.
both. We'll see you after the weather.
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good morning. It's time for your GB News weather forecast from the Met Office. And now it is going to be another mostly sunny and hot day for many of us, even though at the moment there's actually quite a bit of cloud around. That cloud has come in from the east overnight, but it is generally going to break up and burn away as we go through this morning. Just some lingering low cloud towards some North Sea coastal parts. Lots of sunshine then by the afternoon, and in that sunshine, well, it's going to feel pretty hot indeed. Temperatures generally ranging from highs in the very high 20s, possibly low 30s towards the south, to the high teens, low 20s towards the north. There is still a bit of a breeze, particularly towards some coastal parts. That will take the edge off the heat a little bit. Into the evening, and there's not a huge amount of change, to be honest. There's some low clouds still around those eastern coastal parts of Scotland. Across central and western areas, however, it's a bright, fine end to the day, similar across much of Northern Ireland. Again, still some cloud around those North Sea coastal parts of England, and that cloud is again going to start to push its way a bit further inland through the end of the evening and overnight. Most places, though, sticking with the largely clear skies for a little while yet. But yes, similar to last night, really, that cloud in the east is going to become more widespread, and there's also the potential for a bit of cloud to come into some southwestern parts, Devon and Cornwall, likely to see some cloud at times overnight, but it's going to stay dry. Temperatures holding up for most, so low to mid-teens, high teens in a fair few places, especially towards the south, so feeling pretty warm indeed, still quite uncomfortable for sleeping. Again, we're going to see most of that cloud that pushes in overnight burning away through tomorrow morning, still just lingering towards those eastern coastal parts for some. Otherwise, a bit of cloud here and there, could be quite high-level clouds, so maybe just turning the sunshine a bit hazy at times, but generally it's looking fine, sunny, and with that, temperatures similar to today, so a good chance of getting into the low 30s. See you later.
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
Thank you, Britain, for making GB News Radio such a huge success. Whether you're in the car, on the go or listening at home, thank you for choosing us as your radio station.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. The A27 is closed after the A285 in Chichester. In Scotland, the A977 is closed in both directions between the Kilbaggy roundabout and Ferrygate due to planned roadworks. Across Wales, the M4 eastbound is congested between junction 26 at Malpas and junction 23A at Magor. And on the trains, Avanti West Coast has no trains between Chester and Crewe. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com. Across Wales, the M4 eastbound is congested between junction 26 at Malpas and junction 23A at Mulgore. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
It's the Great British Giveaway Golden Summer Celebration. Your chance to win 2 fantastic prizes. There's an incredible £60,000 in tax-free cash. Plus, you'll also get your hands on a fine gold bar worth over £5,000. For a chance to win £60,000 in tax-free cash and a real gold bar, text GOLD to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message, or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus 1 standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entry start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB22 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 21st of August. This is a network giveaway. Entries will be pulled. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand.
At the stroke of midnight, the news doesn't stop, and neither do we.
Day in, day out. Forget stuffy late night TV shows. We're giving you a front row ticket to the centre of the political universe.
Because breaking news doesn't wait for the morning.
And neither do we. Join us for one of the most controversial and volatile times of politics in human history.
A very big story.
Big story over here.
You won't get this anywhere else. The Late Show live at midnight, every night.
Only on GB News.
Bold. They are under no illusion.
Ray,
are you a human trafficker?
Boundless. I've had enough of the nonsense, and I'm not afraid to say it.
Don't get us on the BBC.
Every weeknight, I tear through the headlines.
The smell of gasoline. Should we be worried about it?
From Westminster madness to cultural war chaos.
What I'm going to do now is they are throwing things out the car as we speak.
Get ready, Britain. Here we go. Patrick Christie's tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m. only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
News is completely unique in the way that we interact with our viewers.
Our audience aren't afraid to have their say. They want their voices heard now, and they've got a channel where that can happen.
I find more and more as I'm wandering around, people come up to me and they say, "We saw you on television." I say, "Oh yes, what? On GB News."
Hello, are you the famous Sue? The whole crew hid me here now. We came to celebrate.
It's our job to be the eyes and ears of the viewers.
They are part of the GB News family, and I'm pleased to say it's a very large family.
And if people go to the time and trouble of listening and watching, then we've got to do a good job for them.
Well, I'm here, right in the epicentre of the protest.
Here we go again.
You just tuned in. Where have you been?
It is raucous here tonight.
That's what makes us the fearless champion of Britain.
Good morning. Police are under fire over the handling of Anne Widdecombe's death.
Well, it comes as the Home Secretary Shabana Mahmood yesterday revealed counter-terrorism officers are now leading the investigation.
Circumstances of her death are extremely distressing. Counter-terrorism policing have now taken the lead in the investigation.
Well, that's after the head of UK counter-terrorism policing announced a discovery of new information and evidence.
Yes, the move comes despite the police insisting her alleged murder was not politically motivated.
Well, this is a complex investigation now. The Counter-Terror Command officers have some 14 days before they either have to charge or release their suspect.
Elsewhere today, the most dangerous foreign criminals, including the Rothschild grooming gang ringleader Shabir Ahmed, are set to be deported. It says the Home Secretary announces changes to the Immigration Act.
Well, the government might be changing the law, but it sounds like Pakistan does not want to take this man back. So what will the government do to make them change their mind?
And in other politics news, the Miliband brothers eye up top jobs at number 10. This is David Miliband looks to become the next British ambassador to the United States, and wealthy Britons reportedly prepare to flee the country at the prospect of Ed Miliband becoming Chancellor.
British troops will stand shoulder to shoulder with French forces today for the Bastille Day parade in Paris.
And sport this morning, well, England will make a late call on Declan Rice for the World Cup semi-final against Argentina tomorrow night. First semi-final is Spain versus France this evening. And in cricket, England's women suffer a heavy loss against India.
Whilst it is quite cloudy at the moment for some of us, don't be fooled, the cloud will break up and we will see plenty of sunshine, feeling hot in that sunshine as well. For more on the heat, well, stick around, I'll have the details.
Good morning, it's just gone 8 o'clock. I'm Ellie Costello.
And I'm Alex Armstrong, and this is GB News Breakfast.
How are we feeling about tomorrow night?
I'm excited.
I'm excited.
I'm not here. I'm not working the next day. I can get as drunk as I like.
Good for you.
Yeah.
You deserve it.
I'm actually maybe excited just to not be working for one of the England games.
Oh, it's a first, because usually you're here, aren't you?
But I'm worried now that I've set a precedent every time. The fact that I have been working, we've won. I'm worried that
You're the good luck child.
It'll be down to you, won't it? That's what it is. Everybody's always the same. They always think it's because I didn't do this.
Yeah, but
don't worry. It's never that. It's never you.
But it was Yuri Geller before.
It was Yuri
Yeah.
You were telling us earlier on.
It was Yuri Geller.
And you said you willed that Jude Bellingham second goal.
I did a Yuri Geller myself.
So what were you doing at the time?
Well, I was here, but there was someone else talking, and I thought I'm going to just,
zoned
into the game, and I moved that ball right in place for
Tune in, turn on, drop out. That's what
Well,
they
we're
did in
very
67.
grateful, so thank you.
Yeah. Can you do it one more time if you're still sober?
I'll do my best. I'll maybe make mess.
Were you nervous though? You said you're excited. You must be nervous about because nervous and excitement, right?
Yeah, I'm feeling both tomorrow for tomorrow. We really need to win this game.
We'll win tomorrow.
We've got it in the bag for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, let's look at politics, shall we, and speak to Shadow Exchequer Secretary to the Treasury of the UK, Gareth Davies. Really good to see you this morning, Mr. Davies. Can we start with Ed Miliband on the front page of many of the papers this morning? It's being reported that he's willing to approve North Sea oil, something the Tories have been asking for a long time now, in order to land his dream job as Chancellor. What do you make of that? Is it something you welcome in order to get the North Sea opened back up?
Well, of course, we've been saying this for quite some time. We need to ensure that we use all the resources of the United Kingdom, not least oil and gas. The Climate Change Committee themselves have said ages ago that we need to draw on all energy sources for years to come. It was absolutely perplexing that Ed Miliband went down this road of his green obsession with windmills instead of actually drawing on the resources that we have. We'll see what he announces, but frankly, it's a little late for this. We'll see what he does as Chancellor as well, by the way, because it's all good and well pumping oil and gas, but if he's going to tax the hell out of our businesses, that's not going to help anybody.
Yeah, well, there is speculation in some of the newspapers that a lot of wealthy people are planning to flee the country if Ed Miliband does become Chancellor. We have, of course, seen a very large exodus of wealth from Britain over the last few years. How would you, if you were in government, bring those people back to Britain?
It's a great question, if I may say, because you're right, a lot of people have left the country. I go around speaking to business people all the time as part of my role, and everybody knows somebody who's leaving or has left already because of the hostile environment this government's created to risk-taking and enterprise. If you tax too much, people will leave and find other alternatives elsewhere, and that's exactly what's happening. What we've got to do when we get back into power is ensure that we have that environment that focuses on enterprise, that ensures that we have as low a taxation as possible for those who create the employment in our country. It's going to take some time to figure out exactly what kind of situation we're going to inherit from Labour, but my only hope in the immediate term is that Ed Miliband does not make this worse if indeed he is appointed the Chancellor.
Shabana Mahmood, the Home Secretary, has finally announced that Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps is going to be designated a threat to national security. We've also been speaking about this issue for a long time, haven't we? We've been speaking about it since the Tories were in power. Two questions, though. How are we going to deal with members that are already here in the country? We know about a number of plots that have been foiled in recent months. And also what's going to be done and what should be done to stop those members who are crossing the channel in small boats.
Well, first of all, let me say that we do welcome this decision by the government to prescribe the RGC. We know that in recent years it's got worse, and MI5 in particular have publicly said that there are, I think, over 20 cases in the last year alone that are related to the IRGC, and so we very much support this. It's a little late for our liking. We've been calling it for a number of months and offered to work with the government to pass emergency legislation to make this happen, but we are where we are. I think in terms of the practicality and the questions that you asked, that is absolutely something we are asking of the government. Government ministers are the ones who need to answer how this is going to be implemented and the timeline, and that's certainly something that our Home Office team are focused on right now. Like I said, it's important that we welcome the announcement. Of course we do. We've been calling for it for some time. but now it's about execution, and that's where we want to get answers from the government ministers.
Mr Davies, is Shabana Mahmood showing your party up here as Home Secretary? She passed her immigration and asylum bill last night, and it's been received quite well. The reforms in there are necessary. Many people agree with them. But many people are wondering why it's come down to a Labour Home Secretary to pass these staunch immigration reforms, and it wasn't done under a Conservative government.
Well, we did actually pass a number of reforms on both legal and illegal migration. You remember we had the major deterrent policy of the Rwanda scheme, which Labour scrapped as soon as it got into office. And as a result, small boat crossings are now over 76,000 since Labour took office. So the idea that things are better under Labour is just not accurate. It's got worse in terms of illegal migration, particularly across the English Channel. But there are some things, of course, we do welcome, partly because we've been calling for it. The action on this vile individual, Ahmed. We suggested action on that a number of weeks ago, and it's only now that the Home Secretary is acting. Of course, look, when they do something right, we'll welcome it, but let's not kid ourselves. We've been calling for some of this action in recent weeks and months, and the Home Secretary has just dithered and delayed. She needs to be much more decisive. She gets there in the end on some of these things, but she needs to be much quicker in her decision making.
Gareth, just before we let you go this morning, big night tomorrow for England v Argentina. Can I push you for a prediction, and where are you going to be watching the game?
I can't wait for this game. It's going to be 2-1 England. It's going to be a very close, difficult game. It's always traumatic being an England fan watching these games. Who knows? Argentina may score first, and then we pull it back at the 90th minute. Who knows? But I'll be there with a final lager, watching it and trying to get through the trauma. And I think we're going to come out on the back end of this positively, but we'll see.
Fingers crossed, indeed. Thank you very much, Gareth Davies MP, there joining us to discuss the morning's political news. OK, well, we're now joined by GB News' chief political correspondent, Catherine Forster, to tell us more. Catherine, lots going on in the world at the moment, but particularly many people, of course, talking about what's going on with Shabir Ahmed. The immigration and asylum reforms passed last night get rid of that archaic 1971 immigration law, which stopped Commonwealth citizens from being deported who'd come before that period of time. Are we going to get there, though? Is this man ever going to be deported?
Yes, this is the question. I mean, Andy Burnham, going to be PM this time next week, has said he wants this vile individual out of the country. The law is being changed. This section of that 1971 law is being disapplied for serious criminals. It's going to take up to a year for it to go through Parliament, but even when that is fixed, the fundamental problem is this is a man... We've stripped him of his British citizenship. He has relinquished his Pakistani citizenship, and our ability to deport him depends on Pakistan agreeing to take him back. And it sounds very much like Pakistan is saying, no, thanks, actually, we don't want to take him back. So what levers is the government going to pull? There could be some crackdown on visas. We give foreign aid. We may have to play hardball, so we just don't know, but people certainly will expect them to act rather than just make, oh, this is terrible noises. They are the government. It's up to them to make this happen.
Yeah.
What do you make of this other story today that we were asking Gareth Davies about, these reports that Ed Miliband is willing to approve North Sea oil in order to land his dream job as Chancellor? Would he really turn his back on his convictions for that job?
I think possibly in the case of the Jackdaw gas field, yes, because apparently it could fuel 1.4 million homes this winter. Jackdaw and Rosebank had the licences granted, and then it's sort of been put on ice. So it doesn't fall into his sort of moratorium on new licences. There's a consultation running at the moment, so he can't say so sort of publicly, but he's let it be understood. But clearly, he's very keen to get the Chancellor job. Andy Burnham is keeping everybody guessing. He's going to come in next Monday. We're probably not going to find out who is actually in the Cabinet till then. And I think there's so many voices worried about Ed Miliband and his net zero passion. The unions, Tony Blair, the Tories, we saw what happened in Aberdeen South recently. They won that by-election, the Conservatives, largely because of oil and gas. And Sharon Graham, the leader of Unite Union, has said that Ed Miliband, as Chancellor, would be putting a noose around the neck of job creation. So I think he is attempting to say, look, you know what, I can be flexible. And Andy Burnham has said that he's open-minded on more drilling. So we will see.
Yeah, there's so much going on at the moment, and I suspect there's going to be a lot more what would normally be called silly season, where there's no politics in recess, Catherine, but I think we're going to get quite a lot of politics during recess, aren't we?
I think you're right.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, recess starts on Friday. I'm actually going on holiday for a couple of weeks. I thought it was the safe time to go away. But lo and behold, new Prime Minister, new Cabinet.
Can't make it up.
There's a by-election. I mean, it's just mad, but then it's always mad, and it just feels like a very long time ago since Labour came in promising an end to the chaos, calm, competent government and no infighting.
A politics that would tread lightly on our lives, Catherine. That's what we were told.
I also remember that, but my goodness.
It's been anything but.
Anything but.
Yes, well, thank goodness you're here, Catherine, to do it all for us, so thank you.
Thanks, Catherine.
All right, look, yes, it is now 13 minutes past 8, and on a serious story here, because counter-terrorism police are now leading the investigation into the death of Anne Widdecombe after new information and evidence came to light.
Yes, speaking in the House of Commons, the Home Secretary vowed to assess security advice for former MPs.
I recognise the particular concern that the Reform Party will feel today, and of course Nigel Farage, the party's leader. I'm happy to offer a meeting for Mr Farage with the chair of RAVIC, the independent body within the Home Office that manages the security of those in public life. And I will also be looking at what security guidance can be provided to former members of Parliament, which I hope to work with you on, Mr Speaker, as well as those who serve a party outside of this place.
Yes, this comes after a 28-year-old white British man was rearrested on suspicion of the commission, preparation and instigation of acts of terrorism.
Well, let's go now to GB News' Home and Security Editor, Mark White, who joins us now from Devon. Very good morning to you, Mark. And this is now a complex investigation, isn't it? Bring us up to speed.
Good morning to you. Yes, it was a dramatic turn of events yesterday afternoon when we got that confirmation first from the Home Secretary, Shabana Mahmood, and then from Assistant Commissioner Lawrence Taylor, the head of counter-terrorism policing in the UK, that this murder inquiry, which was being led by Devon and Cornwall Police, was now in the hands of counter-terrorism detectives. And that, they said, was because of new information that had come to light, multiple lines of inquiry that those counter-terrorism detectives are now pursuing. And it did come as a surprise because up until that point, really from the first point that this investigation was announced, a murder investigation, the indications were we were being steered away from suggestions that it might have been terrorist related or politically motivated, and it, of course, may well be at the time that Devon and Cornwall Police did not have anything to suggest otherwise, but there has been some criticism, chief among them the independent reviewer of terrorism, Jonathan Hall, who said that he believed that it was effectively in breach of the golden rules governing these complex investigations, that you don't come forward and give an indication that it isn't something when, quite frankly, you don't know because you don't have all the evidence at hand. Previously, the police would always say they're ruling nothing in and nothing out, and they seem to have been by their actions in highlighting the fact that they had no evidence about terrorism or a political motivation, managing public expectations and steering them away from believing that could be a potential motivation. As I say, now it has come full circle, and that is indeed exactly what counter-terrorism police believe, that Anne Widdecombe was murdered in her home last Wednesday lunchtime in a politically motivated act of terrorism. Now, given that this 28-year-old suspect who was arrested in Rotherham at 9 o'clock on Saturday night has now been rearrested on terrorism charges on suspicion of terrorist acts, they have another 2 weeks, probably not quite that now, as it's a day on or so, but a much lengthier period of time, because these are complex investigations. So it is part of counter-terrorism legislation that they get 14 days in which to hold and question a suspect and gather the evidence before reaching a charging decision, or either deciding to let an individual go.
OK, Mark White there for us in Devon. Thank you very much. Any developments we get, of course, Mark will bring them to us here on GB News.
Yes. Let's have a look at some other stories coming into the newsroom this morning.
And the UAE has accused Iran of a brazen attack on 2 tankers in the Strait of Hormuz yesterday, killing 1 person and wounding 8 others. It comes as President Trump says the US will impose a 20% charge as part of a new blockade on the waterway.
And the Hillsborough Bill returns to the House of Commons today, marking a major milestone for families and campaigners. Government amendments will set out how public bodies disclose information while protecting national security.
And British troops will stand shoulder to shoulder with French forces today in the Bastille Day parade in Paris. Soldiers from the Grenadier Guards will march through the French capital. Sir Keir Starmer is also visiting France with other leaders from the Coalition of the Willing.
And pubs are expected to serve more than 64 million no and low alcohol beers this summer. The British Beer and Pub Association says the category is no longer a fad, but is a defining part of the sector, Ellie. No and low beers.
No and low beers. We're not fans.
No.
But it's nice that they're catching on.
There are some people that are fans. There's some people on your side today have said Guinness is pretty good, no and low. But I'm just one of those people. If I'm going to drink something that tastes like alcohol,
you want alcohol.
I want alcohol.
But look, if you've got a health condition or you're pregnant or you're driving, totally makes sense.
Although one of our viewers who was recently pregnant wrote to say, I drank 0% alcohol while I was pregnant, hated it.
Yeah, maybe don't bother. Just have a mocktail or something instead.
That's all right. Shaken, not stirred.
Shaken, not stirred. Exactly like James Bond. Keep views coming in on James Bond, zero alcohol, beer. What else are we talking about today?
Talk about
Ed Miliband wanting to be Chancellor. You're not a fan of that.
What would you like us to ask the government when they join us? We've got Lucy Rigby, Chief Secretary to the Treasury at 9 o'clock. So let us know what you think about that too. And in the meantime, we'll find out what the weather's like, shall we?
It's looking
How's
good.
The pollen count?
Probably very high. My eyes are killing me today. Alex Berkel's got all the details.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good morning. It's time for your GB News weather forecast from the Met Office. And now it is going to be another mostly sunny and hot day for many of us, even though at the moment there's actually quite a bit of cloud around. That cloud has come in from the east overnight, but it is generally going to break up and burn away as we go through this morning. Just some lingering low cloud towards some North Sea coastal parts. Lots of sunshine then by the afternoon, and in that sunshine, well, it's going to feel pretty hot indeed. Temperatures generally ranging from highs in the very high 20s, possibly low 30s towards the south, to the high teens, low 20s towards the north. There is still a bit of a breeze, particularly towards some coastal parts. That will take the edge off the heat a little bit. into the evening, and there's not a huge amount of change, to be honest. There's some low clouds still around those eastern coastal parts of Scotland. Across central and western areas, however, it's a bright, fine end to the day, similar across much of Northern Ireland. Again, still some cloud around those North Sea coastal parts of England, and that cloud is again going to start to push its way a bit further inland through the end of the evening and overnight. Most places, though, sticking with the largely clear skies for a little while yet. But yes, similar to last night really, that cloud in the east is going to become more widespread, and there's also the potential for a bit of cloud to come into some southwestern parts, Devon and Cornwall, likely to see some cloud at times overnight, but it's going to stay dry. Temperatures holding up for most, so low to mid-teens, high teens in a fair few places, especially towards the south, so feeling pretty warm indeed, still quite uncomfortable for sleeping. Again, we're going to see most of that cloud that pushes in overnight burning away through tomorrow morning, still just lingering towards those eastern coastal parts for some. Otherwise, a bit of cloud here and there, could be quite high-level clouds, so maybe just turning the sunshine a bit hazy at times, but generally it's looking fine, sunny, and with that, temperatures similar to today, so a good chance of getting into the low 30s. See you later.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Still to come, the best friend of Bobby Moore, who was part of England's 1966 World Cup victory, of course, is going to join us in the sports.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that. But first, we're going to be discussing Andrew Mountbatten Windsor's Royal Lodge tenancy. Remember that? So after the Crown Estate deemed that it was good value for money. Cameron Walker's here to tell us more next.
Breaking news, live updates, stories that matter.
From the heart of the GB newsroom to every corner of Britain, with our team of dedicated journalists across the UK.
GB News bulletins are there to deliver the latest news that matters to you.
Bulletins on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Exciting news. Every Friday, my Patrick Christie's Tonight Show is going to have a twist to it. We're welcoming some special guests. You. That's right, on Fridays I'm going to be doing my show in front of a live studio audience, because this show is about you and what you have to say. It's going to be the same big debates, same big topics, same big opinions, but every Friday night at 9 p.m. you are invited to come on down to Patrick Christie's Tonight to be a part of the action. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation, isn't it?
No, because you're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back.
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
And we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Jubes & Co weeknights at 6 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
He can say whatever he wants.
A straight talking show where all voices are heard.
And you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Do you trust what you're being told? Good, because neither do I.
Those are just facts.
I'm Alex Armstrong, and on my show, we'll expose the spin.
Well, I want to answer that, because you didn't let me last time, because you always speak over me.
The broken promises.
To deny that is denying the truth.
And the hypocrisy.
Needs to stop.
You think we can allow?
Politics, policy, parliament. Nothing is off limits. No sugarcoating, no fear of offence, just the truth laid bare. Tune in every Saturday and Sunday at 9 p.m. for Alex Armstrong Tonight, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
I've been in Westminster for a long time, but I know that though power may be here, its effect on people's lives is across the whole of the country. We may be where rules are made, but it's where they're implemented that matters. Join me, Jacob Rees-Mogg, for forthright and frank discussion on where Britain has come from, where it's going, and where it will end up. That's State of the Nation, Monday to Thursday, 8 to 9 o'clock. Vox Populi, Vox Dei.
Welcome Welcome back to Breakfast. It's 26 minutes past 8. Now, MPs have probed Crown Estate officials about the financial arrangements of Andrew Mountbatten Windsor's former home.
That's right. That's after it was revealed the former prince was allowed to sublet 3 cottages near Royal Lodge, where he used to live in Windsor.
But the Crown Estate, which owns the 30-room mansion and surrounding buildings, insists that the arrangement was value for money.
That's right. GB News royal correspondent Cameron Walker joins us in the studio. Subletting?
Subletting.
Who do you sublet royal property to?
The staff.
Your staff?
Yeah,
well, no, I know. In my
Lodge.
head, being the commoner that I am, I'm just thinking he's put it on Rightmove or something, you know?
I think it was a little bit more complicated than that.
Yeah.
But yes, of course, this all came out because of the kind of disgrace that Andrew Mountbatten Windsor went through. A lot of the papers started probing, and then it was revealed that 3 properties were being subletted by Andrew so he could earn an income. And MPs really questioned that, to the point where this Public Accounts Committee hearing took place yesterday, summoning Crown Estate officials to come and answer questions. So what the Crown Estate said was that Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, they laid out the facts. This lease arrangement took place in 2003. He paid £1 million for the lease. He also paid £7.5 million to renovate the property, which means Crown Estate didn't need to. But as part of that agreement, he was allowed to sublet these 3 properties. So it was all done within the rules to staff, and he was allowed to earn an income from that. Now, the Crown Estate said that was good value for money in terms of the arrangement that was done, because they didn't need to pay for the refurbishment costs of the falling down building. Well, not literally falling down, but, it was getting quite bad. Now, MPs asked the Crown Estate, well, how much has he earned from these 3 sublet properties? No answer. But what Buckingham Palace has said is that if MPs formally request that information, then they would be able to give that to them. So I think there's a lot of questions up in the air. I think from many of you, you or I or an ordinary person would think, well, how is a member of the royal family who's getting quite good peppercorn rent, remember, for Royal Lodge 30-room mansion, because he happens to be the son of Queen Elizabeth II, how is he then allowed to sublet 3 properties that he doesn't own and an income from that?
What's been said about Beatrice and Eugenie?
Yes, so following all of this, National Audit Office did a report which revealed that the King is footing the bill for the reduced rents which both Princess Beatrice and Eugenie pay for their own separate royal properties. So Princess Eugenie has Ivy Cottage on the Kensington Palace estate, and Princess Beatrice has an apartment in St James's Palace just down the road from Buckingham Palace. And they don't pay much for that at all. So we're also told that rents are based on outdated property values. The problem is, when a property is within Kensington Palace, this is what the Crown Estate said, or St James's Palace, it's all behind security cordons.
Yeah.
So you need to have some kind of security clearance in order to rent it. So in order to encourage people who do have that security clearance, which is literally, members of the royal family or people in very high office, in order to encourage people who have that security clearance, which isn't many, you have to give them some kind of, encouragement in order to do that. And would you rather it was minimal rent or the property was left empty? And that's why that's why the Crown Estate is saying it's good value for taxpayers.
Yeah, interesting stuff. It's a bit more nuanced than people would have thought, I guess. And Prince Harry's been on a podcast, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has, with Joe Marler. It was actually quite funny and relaxed compared to the other interviews we've seen from Prince Harry in recent years. As you can probably imagine, they didn't touch the loss of his High Court battle against Associated Newspapers. They also didn't touch on security. It was a lot of banter. There was a bit about the Invictus Games as well.
Yeah.
A lot of quite out there jokes, which you wouldn't necessarily expect the royal families to go to. I wouldn't watch it if I was a child, if I were you.
Right.
It certainly couldn't be broadcast on television before the watershed.
That's very much within Harry's character, though, isn't it? After the book and everything like that, he's framing himself as the everyday man.
Exactly. Which is, if he was still a working member of the royal family, I think a lot of people would be praising him for taking part in this podcast, but clearly because of everything that's happened with Prince Harry, I think he's got a lot of critics, so it's going to be hard to navigate that for him.
OK, Cameron, thank you very much.
All right, well, if you are travelling to work or school, don't forget you can stay with us on digital radio, and we're going to give you a traffic and travel update, aren't we?
That we are.
Yes.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. There is a collision on the M62 westbound at junction 28 in West Yorkshire, causing delays. The M23 southbound has a lane closure between junctions 8 and 9 in Reigate. The A27 is closed after the A285 near Chichester. The A46 southbound is closed after the A428, and the A428 is closed after the A1. In Scotland, the A977 is closed in both directions between the Kilbaggy roundabout and Ferrygate due to planned roadworks. And on the trains, Avanti West Coast has no trains running between Chester and Crewe. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Still to come.
All
It's a big
sport.
day tomorrow.
It is.
What's going on tomorrow?
What's
what is
going on
it?
tomorrow? Just this little game.
Oh, there's a little game.
Little game of football.
Yes, World Cup semi-final, England versus Argentina. We played them back in 1966. And by the way, I don't know if you're aware of this, but England won the World Cup in 1966, and someone that was there will be with us very shortly.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Bold. They are under no illusion.
Ray.
Are you a human trafficker?
Boundless. I've had enough of the nonsense, and I'm not afraid to say it.
Don't get this on the BBC.
Every weeknight, I tear through the headlines.
The smell of gasoline. Should we be worried about it?
From Westminster madness to cultural war chaos.
What I'm going to do now, they are throwing things out the car as we speak.
Get ready, Britain. Here we go. Patrick Christie's tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Join me, Nana Akwe, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, Dave.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Welcome to Free Speech Nation with me, Josh Howard. This is the show where each week we see what's happening in the world of culture, current affairs and politics.
First we'll say, welcome to the UK. Oh, thank you.
And we're not afraid to use our free speech so that you can use yours.
It's not controversial in the slightest to anyone who hasn't lost their mind.
Free Speech Nation, Sunday nights at 7 p.m, only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
As soon as it hits 11 and the headlines come in,
Late Edition brings you the breaking news from all the front pages.
because the news is going to happen.
So get a head start today.
Patrick Christie's tonight, Late Edition.
Alex Armstrong tonight, Late Edition. From 11 o'clock every night.
Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation,
No,
isn't it?
no,
Because the failure is
you're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back,
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
and we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Jubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
All right, Paul Coyte's here with us to go through some sport, and you've got a special guest, Paul.
I do, but I was talking to Cameron earlier
Yeah.
about, and Cameron asked about the World Cup, and I said, well, you know what? I'm not sure how I feel exactly. I don't know whether I'm like nervous or excited or whatever. And then it was only when he said, well, what if it goes to penalties? Then my stomach went. So anyway, have a look at this. Norman Giller. Norman Giller is a man who was a journalist and football journalist and sports historian, was there for all of 1966. He was there for the whole of the World Cup. He knew everybody. He was even in the dressing room after the game, and he's an absolute legend.
Oh.
And
Brilliant.
Norman is with us right now. There he is. Norman, it looks very dark where you are. How are you?
You say very dark. This is the Thames Estuary, old chap.
Oh, that'll be why.
This
Listen,
is
you look very...
Pymetics.
You look very well, as you always do. 1966, are there comparisons to now, do you think?
Before we go into the glorious past, can I just mention the fact I'm amazed that you haven't been nominated for the James Bond role?
Yes, and you know what? You know what, Norman? Me too. But trust me.
It was Dennis Bond, that was it.
Yeah, Dennis Bond, more like it. Anyway, look, there's the book. I know you've written many, many books. 1966, there it is. And Sir Geoff Hurst has also written the introduction as well to it. But are there links between now and then?
Well, the main link is, of course, that England played Argentina in 1966. And I've still got the scars to show for that one.
Yes.
Because that was, if you remember, Tony Rattin tried to referee the match, and he was sent off. A very tall, stately man. He was sent off by this tiny referee, and it caused murders at the time. And they tried to burn down the embassy in Buenos Aires.
Wow.
And the Argentinian players tried to kick down the Wembley dressing room door as England celebrated their victory. And so England and Argentina go way back to 66. Then, of course, there was the famous Hand of God goal. So England and Argentina have got a lot of history, not forgetting, unfortunately, that the Falklands fell in the middle of it all. And so there's going to be a lot of bitterness between the two teams.
Yeah.
And it's unavoidable, but there's going to be a lot of tension there.
But you know what? It's with all that, it's going to be a hell of a night, and it should be a hell of a game. But I want to talk about 66, though. You were right in the middle of it all, and I spoke to Geoff Hurst only recently, and I'm saying to him, look, you know, London was the centre of everything. You know, it was the swinging 60s, swinging London. You know, the Beatles were around, and the music was great, and Carnaby Street, and the film scene, and also we're winning the World Cup. And he went, wasn't really aware of it. Was it literally like that it just didn't seem like it was as big as it is now?
Geoff was grateful for me writing this book because it reminded him of things that he had forgotten. Just for instance, on the night before the match, the whole squad walked through the streets of Hendon to the local cinema to watch those magnificent men in the flying machine.
Right.
And can you imagine that happening today, that they were able to walk unhindered without any photographers, cameras, anything? And it was a different planet then.
It really is. It's amazing. What's your defining memory, though, of 1966? Is it that goal going in at the end? Is it you going in? What do you think of, the first thing you think of?
Well, first of all, I've got to tell you how I got into the dressing room. I tied myself to a gentleman called Len Went, who was the famous PR for Wembley. And he taught me past all the Jobsworths, as he took me round the back doubles of old Wembley. And the Queen was just getting into her Rolls Royce and gave me a radiant smile.
Yeah.
She may have been smiling to people behind me, but I took that as something personal for me. And then I got into the dressing room, and Alf Ramsey followed on just as I was cuddling Bobby Moore and kissing the World Cup, or it might have been the other way around. And as I cuddled and kissed Bobby, Geoff Hurst pushed past, washing his hair. He'd just come out of the shower, and he walked out onto the pitch, and I followed him on because Alf sent me out, because he said to me, if I let you in, there's 500 other journalists who should come in. And I followed Geoff out, and Geoff looked up at the scoreboard just to satisfy himself that final goal, they think it's all over, that goal, that it had counted. And so Geoff was a very satisfied young man. It changed his life, of course.
Of course it did. Are we as good now, the England team now, that you see, as we were to compare to the other sides of 1966?
Were we as good?
Are we as good now?
We're not as well organised, I don't think. Alf was a master of organisation, and every player knew the job he had to do, and Alf didn't necessarily pick the 11 greatest players, because if he had have done, Jimmy Greaves would have been in that side.
Yeah.
But Alf picked the team that would follow his orders. And they were the most disciplined side I've ever seen. And what you have to remember, we were talking about the Argentine match. That quarter-final was the first time that Alfred experimented with his wingless wonders team.
Yeah.
So therefore, for us watching it, it was strange not to see flying wingers. We'd always, you know, we'd grown up in an era when wingers zipping down the flanks was the main feature of a match. Now suddenly there were no wingers, and they're all playing in midfield. And the final itself would not have been was nowhere near a classic until extra time, of course.
Of course it was. Well, ended up that way, and 60 years on, there's the book, the whole story that you've written. Norman, finally, can we do it? Yes or no?
But not only can we do it, we must do it, and we will do it. But,
that's what I want to hear.
But sadly, I don't think we'll win the final.
Oh, I thought you said we will. Okay.
Because I think France are light years away of every other team.
You've got to have the luck with you. You never know. Things may be okay, but France and Spain tonight, England, Argentina tomorrow. I know you'll be watching. Norman, always a pleasure. Thank you very much for your time. And 60 years on, let's hopefully there'll be something else to celebrate.
Don't forget, you've got to go for the James Bond role.
Thank you very much. 002.5. Thank you very much. Good to see Norman. Norman is a real legend of sports journalism. Right in the middle. Everybody loved him, knew every player. So let's win it for Norman, shall we?
What a star.
60 years. Love it.
We'll do it tomorrow. Thanks, Coity.
Thank you.
All right, up next, all the papers with David Wooding and Tali Fraser. But first,
here's your forecast across Europe.
Dinner under the stars tonight?
That reminds me of our travel insurance.
You mean All Clear Skies?
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations forecast.
Whilst we've been talking about heat across the UK for a while, we've been talking about heat across parts of Europe for even longer, and the exceptionally hot spell does look set to continue. It's more across parts of France, but also pushing into eastern Spain, where we're seeing the very high temperatures compared to average. But even further south, well, here it is pretty hot, and temperatures for parts of Italy getting into the high 30s or low 40s. With all that, lots of sunshine, but do watch out for a bit of showery rain. Bye-bye.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations forecast.
This is GB News, Britain's news channel.
The police not moving right now, but I have to say, the England Hotel is around 500 yards away, so they will hear this. Let's see if we can try and speak to someone. English?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Are you part of this group?
Sorry, we're taking one over the radio. Torres away, yo, viva Mexico!
He's from Argentina. He's from Argentina.
Argentina. Where are these guys from, this band?
I don't know. Maybe fans, I don't know.
Do you think it's fair of them to do this to England players?
No, of course not. Thank you.
GB News, the People's Channel. This is GB News, Britain's news channel.
She's a Russian blue. What makes Denka such a good pet?
She's very affectionate, they're very dog-like in their behaviour, very solid breed, and basically they're a pet for life, really.
Amazing. Well, Denka's been very, very well behaved here. And speaking of behaviour, Anna Webb, dog behaviouralist, joins me now. The show's been doing some research about how music affects different pets. What have they found?
Well, they found that reggae really helps calm dogs in particular. And charities like Battersea have been playing reggae in their kennels for ages, and scientists have proven that it does reduce their cortisol levels because of the 4x4 rhythm of reggae and the beats per minute that goes from 70 to 120 beats per minute. It covers all shapes and sizes of dogs, from large ones at 70 to small ones have a faster heartbeat at 120.
GB News, the People's Channel. This is GB News, Britain's news channel.
Americans have been absolutely delighting in the sun, and they have been enjoying their birthday. They're very, very patriotic. I've listened to all the comments about Trump's speeches, etc., on the British media. No sign of it here. These Americans are so patriotic. It's their country. They're proud of it. And they should be, Nana, because in 250 years they have become the most powerful nation in the world. And why? Because they used the Bill of Rights that King William brought to Britain in 1688, the Glorious Revolution, came here. That's what they fought for. No taxation right, representation, no interference from foreign courts, tariffs, it's all there, Nana.
GB News, the People's Channel.
Welcome back. We're going through the papers this morning in the company of David Wooding and Tali Fraser. Morning, you two. David, let's have a look at the Mail, shall we? This is not good. The UK is on track to raise one of the unhealthiest generations of children in decades.
Yes, obesity, mental health, tooth decay, vaccine uptake, all low in the UK. This is a study called The State of Child Health by the Royal College of Paediatricians and Child Health. And we have the worst outcomes in Europe. 8 to 16-year-olds have got mental health problems going through the roof. It was 12.5% in 2019 who had mental health problems in that age group. It's gone up to 20+% now, 1 in 5. And 27% of girls and 22% of boys are taking e-cigarettes, using e-cigarettes.
Crazy.
Obesity is a big problem. A third of 10 and 11-year-olds are overweight. A fifth of 5-year-olds have got tooth decay. And it's all down to lifestyle in many cases, junk food and being set about bad examples, smoking around the home and so forth.
Tali, what do you make of this all?
Yeah, I mean, it's unbelievably depressing, isn't it, if we're raising one of the unhealthiest generations, considering sort of all of the goods that we have in this world and how much development and innovation there is. For this to still be happening is really unfortunate. And these poor children as well.
I know.
You would just hope for better for them.
And what life does it set it up for? Set them up for them if that's the way it starts. If
Well,
that's
yeah,
the chance
this
that they
is the
have
thing,
with
it's
tooth
so
decay and
important.
obesity, and it's going to be very, very hard to get a handle on that.
It certainly is.
Do stay with us, you two. Stay right where you are, because we're just going to have a look at the Great British Giveaway, because it is a goodie, and then we'll be right back with you.
We're celebrating a golden summer, as you could win a totally tax-free £60,000 in cash to spend on anything you like. Imagine all of the fun you could have this year with that. You could spend it on treats, save it for a rainy day, or give you the chance to chill out and relax on the perfect getaway. Plus, we're going to give you a £5,000 gold bar that you could keep, trade, or gift to a loved one and secure their financial future. You really could be enjoying gold and £60,000 cash in our golden summer celebration.
For a chance to win £60,000 in tax-free cash and a real gold bar, text GOLD to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message, or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge, or post your name and number to GB22 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 21st of August. This is a network giveaway. Entries will be pulled. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Good luck, everybody, and welcome back to our paper review. Let's move on to page 14 of the Times. Greens seek heat limit for work spaces. That's you, Tali.
Yes, so the Green Party wants to propose legislation that would set a maximum workplace temperature in Britain. So it's their latest Green MP, Hannah Spencer, who won that by-election in Gordon and Denton, is proposing a private member's bill to find a maximum safe workplace temperature to enforce. So it basically is with this idea that, it's getting hotter, people are heating up, and the offices are too hot for people to go and work in. But I don't know about you, my office is much cooler than where than my home.
But I think what they're doing here is quite clever, because this is going to really benefit things like bus drivers, for example. Union work, I think, is what they're going after here. It's not the offices they're after.
And tradespeople.
Tradespeople, people who are out doing construction, that sort of stuff, David. Most businesses and most employers, though, are quite wise with this stuff. They'll say, if it's too hot, we're going to not work today, because obviously there's a bit of common sense applied. We don't need to legislate for everything.
Absolutely. And do you remember, it used to be about being too cold. That was originally the issue that trade unions were obsessed with. You can't work if the temperature drops. And we have it in that. I used to work in the House of Commons as a political correspondent, and that building is so old. It was absolutely baking in there during the summer in the press gallery, and we used to get these units brought in to try and air condition it, and it was dreadful. But none of them go on strike.
Employers are already required under health and safety laws to assess risks to workers, including from extreme heat. So I don't know why we need to sort of add more layers onto this and start using these like temperature settlements to sort of say, oh no work there.
We just need to modernise, don't we? And if we're going to keep getting these higher temperatures, just aircon
in
every building.
Not allowed that.
It's not very net zero.
You can be hot, just not at the office. You have to be hot at home, Ellie. Right? That's the rules. That's the rules.
Well, let us know what you think.
Yes. What do you think at home here? Let's go to this one here. Multitasking myth is down to tight-lipped men, David.
Oh, yes.
Well, this is good news for we blokes. We can multitask just as well as women. I'm sure Ellie agrees with us on that. But the reason that they did this study at a couple of universities, and they gave all these various tasks, but they found that when one of the tasks was to answer some questions verbally while multitask doing all the other tasks, and the men were abrupt with the questions and they couldn't deal with the questions. So it's not that men can't multitask, it's that they appear to be a bit tetchy while multitasking, and that gives the perception that men can't multitask.
See, I get quite flustered when I try and multitask. If I'm trying to make dinner and someone asks me a question, I get really flustered. I can't. One thing at a time.
So maybe this study just needed you involved.
Maybe. Well, it is a very small pool, actually, isn't it? I think I've read
40 of each.
Yeah, it's about 40 of each. Yeah. So I've obviously let the side down. I think I get quite flustered when I'm trying to multitask. What about you, Charlie? Are you a good multitasker?
I'm all right. Some of my friends say I'm a bit like a swan, though, where like it appears okay, and then under the water, the sort of legs are flapping around quite frenetically.
That's half the battle, isn't it, though? The perception of calm.
Yeah. It's all about what you're putting out rather than what's actually happening.
Yeah.
Well, that's what the study is saying, that women just put a better face on it, basically.
Yeah.
We're all as useless at each other. Yeah.
So I did do a costume change on Sunday night. I did a costume change on air. There you go.
Into what?
No one even picked up on it. It was that good.
Really?
I was in my England top and I managed to get my suit back on live on air.
Very good. Well done.
No one even noticed. So I did do a bit of multitasking.
But to be fair, I did the same with my Union Jack dress the other day.
Yes, you did. But
live on air.
The entrance was something to be desired.
Something else. Anyway, thank you very much, you two. Thanks for your company today. Let's get a check now on the weather.
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good morning. It's time for your GB News weather forecast from the Met Office. And now it is going to be another mostly sunny and hot day for many of us, even though at the moment there's actually quite a bit of cloud around. That cloud has come in from the east overnight, but it is generally going to break up and burn away as we go through this morning. Just some lingering low cloud towards some North Sea coastal parts. Lots of sunshine then by the afternoon, and in that sunshine, well, it's going to feel pretty hot indeed. Temperatures generally ranging from from highs in the very high 20s, possibly low 30s towards the south to the high teens, low 20s towards the north. There is still a bit of a breeze, particularly towards some coastal parts. That will take the edge off the heat a little bit. Into the evening, and there's not a huge amount of change, to be honest. There's some low clouds still around those eastern coastal parts of Scotland. Across central and western areas, however, it's a bright, fine end to the day, similar across much of Northern Ireland. Again, still some cloud around those North Sea coastal parts of England, and that cloud is again going to start to push its way a bit further inland through the end of the evening and overnight. Most places, though, sticking with the largely clear skies for a little while yet. But yes, similar to last night, really, that cloud in the east is going to become more widespread, and there's also the potential for a bit of cloud to come into some southwestern parts, Devon and Cornwall, likely to see some cloud at times overnight, but it's going to stay dry. Temperatures holding up for most, so low to mid-teens, high teens in a fair few places, especially towards the south, so feeling pretty warm indeed, still quite uncomfortable for sleeping. Again, we're going to see most of that cloud that pushes in overnight burning away through tomorrow morning, still just lingering towards those eastern coastal parts for some. Otherwise, a bit of cloud here and there, could be quite high-level clouds, so maybe just turning the sunshine a bit hazy at times, but generally it's looking fine, sunny, and with that, temperatures similar to today, so a good chance of getting into the low 30s. See you later.
Today's outlook: cool, calm, and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
Thank you, Britain, for the thousands of you who are becoming friends of GB News each and every week.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. The M62 westbound at junction 30 in West Yorkshire has a collision. The M6 northbound between junctions 25 and 26 in Wigan is closed due to an emergency incident. In Scotland, the M77 southbound off-slip at junction 22 is closed for roadworks. Across Wales, the M4 eastbound between junctions 26 Malpas and 23A Mega is congested with possible delays. And on the trains, Avanti West Coast has no trains between Chester and Crewe, with delays between Birmingham New Street and Birmingham International. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
We're celebrating a golden summer with a terrific two-part Great British giveaway. First, you could win a sensational £60,000 in tax-free cash. And that's not all, as you'll also win our most precious prize to date, a fine gold bar worth over £5,000. For a chance to win, text GOLD to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entry start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB22 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 21st of August. This is a network giveaway. Entries will be pulled. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
He can say whatever he wants.
A straight talking show where all voices are heard.
And, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Bold. They are under no illusion.
Brave.
Are you a human trafficker?
Boundless. I've had enough of the nonsense, and I'm not afraid to say it.
Don't get this on the BBC.
Every weeknight, I tear through the headlines.
The smell of gasoline. Should we be worried about it?
From Westminster madness to cultural war chaos.
What I'm going to do now, they are throwing things out the car as we speak.
Get ready, Britain. Here we go. Patrick Christie tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Good morning. The police are under fire over the handling of Anne Widdecombe's death.
Well, it comes as the Home Secretary Shabana Mahmood yesterday revealed counter-terrorism officers are now leading the investigation.
circumstances of her death are extremely distressing. Counter-terrorism policing have now taken the lead in the investigation.
Well, that's, of course, after the head of UK counter-terrorism policing announced the discovery of new information and evidence. The move comes despite the police insisting her alleged murder was not politically motivated.
Well, because of the complex nature of this investigation, counter-terrorism police will have a total of 14 days to continue questioning this individual before they then either have to charge or release this man.
Elsewhere today, the most dangerous foreign criminals, including the Rochdale grooming gang ringleader Shabir Ahmed, are set to be deported as the Home Secretary announces changes to the Immigration Act.
Well, the law has changed, but he's not set to be deported because it relies still on Pakistan agreeing to take him back. What will Labour do next to force Islamabad to accept this abuser?
And the Miliband brothers eye up top jobs at number 10. That's as David Miliband looks to become the next British ambassador to the United States, and wealthy Britons reportedly prepare to flee the country at the prospect of Ed Miliband becoming Chancellor.
These are live pictures from Paris, where British troops will stand shoulder to shoulder with French forces today for the Bastille Day parade.
Whilst it is quite cloudy at the moment for some of us, don't be fooled, the cloud will break up and we will see plenty of sunshine, feeling hot in that sunshine as well. For more on the heat, well, stick around, I'll have the details.
Good morning, it's just gone 9 o'clock. I'm Ellie Costello.
And I'm Alex Armstrong, and this is GB News Breakfast. Well, Ellie, we were meant to have the government joining us this morning.
We were,
weren't we?
Lucy Rigby,
yes.
the Chief Secretary to the Treasury, was meant to be here just about now.
Oh, that's right, but funnily enough, they don't seem to be able to make it anymore. I wonder why. We were going to be putting forward your questions, the questions that we believe are important to you at home. We were going to ask them about the banning of the IRGC in Britain and why there are still reports of people openly supporting Hezbollah that have seemingly not been punished. What difference will it make if they're not going to crack down on these sorts of things?
Yeah, also going to be speaking to them about Shabir Ahmed and what's going to be done, what levers are going to be pulled in terms of getting Pakistan to take him back.
Indeed.
Actually getting him deported to Pakistan.
Yep, and of course we wanted to ask about the Falkland Islands, and whether or not Labour will have a tough hand with Argentina if they continue this vocal opposition to our ownership of those islands. And I also wanted to ask them about the Victims Minister who came on yesterday, Ellie, who refused, when asked multiple times, whether or not she backed Shabana Mahmood's immigration reforms and whether this minister indeed did. But alas, we will not be able to ask those questions now, so we'll allow you at home to make your own conclusions from that.
Yeah, we were told that they didn't have time to speak to GB News this morning. If someone from the government is listening and would like to make time, we are on air until 9:30. We'd love to chat to you. So that offer is always there, isn't it?
Of course it is. We are a free speech channel. We want to hear the government's opinion on these things. But until then, we will, of course, continue reporting the news to you.
And our top story today, counter-terrorism police are now leading the investigation into the death of Anne Widdecombe after new information and evidence came to light.
Well, speaking in the House of Commons, the Home Secretary vowed to assess security advice for former MPs.
I recognise the particular concern that the Reform Party will feel today, and of course Nigel Farage, the party's leader. I'm happy to offer a meeting for Mr Farage with the chair of RAVIC, the independent body within the Home Office that manages the security of those in public life. And I will also be looking at what security guidance can be provided to former members of Parliament, which I hope to work with you on, Mr Speaker, as well as those who serve a party outside of this place.
Well, this comes after a 28-year-old white British man was rearrested on suspicion of the commission, preparation or instigation of acts of terrorism.
We're now joined by GB News' Home and Security Editor Mark White, live from Devon. Mark, bring us up to date on the latest in this investigation.
Well, we understand that a 28-year-old man is still being held and questioned, this time not by Devon and Cornwall detectives, but by counter-terrorism detectives from Counter-Terrorism Southeast. They have taken over the inquiry because we're told from the Home Secretary and indeed from Lawrence Taylor, who is the head of Counter-Terrorism Policing UK, that they have found new evidence, multiple lines of inquiry that lead them to believe that the murder of Anne Widdecombe on Wednesday of last week, around about lunchtime, was a terrorist inspired killing, motivated clearly by political motivation, and that is what the Counter-Terror Command officers are now involved in trying to piece together, assess exactly what happened, what the circumstances are, and whether there is any wider threat. We were told there is no wider threat, but of course with counter-terrorism investigations, they can go off in lots of different directions. So those detectives, of course, will be searching through electronic devices, phones, computers, contacting those friends and associates of this suspect in custody as well, trying to build up a bigger and better picture of this individual, looking at social media. All of the above can take them off into different directions. It will be, it was of course before, but even more so now, a very complex investigation. And because of the complexity of counter-terror investigations, it means that under legislation those counter-terrorism detectives have longer which to detain an individual and to question him, up to 14 days. And of course he was rearrested yesterday on suspicion of the preparation, commission or instigation of terrorist acts. So probably 13 days now to go in terms of the questioning time. And as I say, with the possibility of charges, they could come sooner, they could come much later. Now it just depends on the kind of evidence that they're able to find out, the detectives.
Mark White for bringing us the latest there from Devon. We will of course keep you updated on this story throughout the show and the channel today. Thank you, Mark White.
Thank you, Mark. Now, at 9:07, the government has confirmed that it will change the law so that the Rochdale grooming gang ringleader Shabir Ahmed can be deported.
Well, Ahmed was released earlier this month after serving just 14 years of a 22-year sentence for his part in a Rochdale grooming gang.
Well, the Home Secretary has confirmed that the laws will be changed regarding the loophole preventing Ahmed from being deported.
And we're now joined by GB News' national reporter Charlie Peters. Charlie, yes, whilst Shabir Ahmed now can technically be deported, will Pakistan allow him back?
That's the key question, Alex, because the government will face accusations, I think, that this is more technical and legal posturing rather than actually the solution that victims and indeed the general public want, which is to see this man removed from the country. Now, the Labour MP, former Minister Graham Stringer, said recently that we cannot consider ourselves a civilised country so long as Shabir Ahmed is here. Now, since his release earlier this month, a lot of focus has been put on Section 7 of the Immigration Act of 1971, which means that any Commonwealth citizen who moved here before 1973 would be protected from deportation if they were here for 5 years. Of course, he's been here for over 50 years, coming over from northeastern Pakistan when he was 14 years old, so a long time ago now, in the 1960s, Shabir Ahmed. But the law's been changed, so technically he can now be deported, although in the government press release yesterday they were keen to stress that the Windrush generation more broadly would not be threatened. Of course, that caused a tremendous crisis for the Conservative government under Amber Rudd about a decade ago now. So the focus now is on how to remove Shabir Ahmed from the country. And that is a question, actually, I'd have loved to have seen you put to the government today, because both the Conservatives and Reform UK have been saying that they could apply visa penalties and the removal of foreign aid to get rid of foreign criminals. In fact, the Nationalities and Borders Act was introduced by the Conservative government, who failed to use these powers. So perhaps this is an opportunity for the Labour government to say, you could have done this for other Pakistani grooming gang offenders and you did not do it, and we're going to do it now. But there's no indication of the Labour government doing that. And we could do this as a country. It is seriously powerful pressure that could be applied. Pakistan enjoys some of the highest rates of work visas, family-related visas as well, far more important to their national standing, perhaps, I believe, than the foreign aid, which is in the hundreds of millions. And although there were recent cuts to that, of course, during the economic turmoil that the country is facing. Just by way of analogy, last January, Donald Trump wanted to send 2 military planes full of deportees to Colombia in South America. And they rejected that. The Colombian administration said, we can't be dealing with that at all. Pretty much instantaneously, the US president threatened tariffs on Colombia. They backed down immediately, and those deportations commenced and have continued since. The language of strength, as it were, from London has not been forthcoming. This is an internal change. This is about our law. The real block to his removal is from Pakistan. Their ministers, speaking anonymously to the newspapers here, have been saying that this is a government now of strength. We're not like the previous Pakistani administrations that did allow abusers to be deported. They've discussed it as a colonial move from the United Kingdom, trying to force perpetrators back to them. Very striking, almost leftist language coming out of Islamabad at the moment. But equally, at the same time, we do know that there are things they want. They want a couple of political dissidents to be removed from the United Kingdom back here. We revealed that last year here on GB News. We also revealed last year that they wanted Pakistani International Airlines, their flag carrier, to return to the United Kingdom in exchange for the ability for Britain to remove grooming gang deporters. What is the United Kingdom saying to force this over the line? That's the question that we would all love answered by the government, but yes, alas, not today.
Not today, Charlie, and it's very disappointing because we do want to put these questions to them. Particularly, we do have, as you correctly highlighted in your report just there, we have a lot of leverage to use. We have 500,000 people visit the UK to Pakistan. We could stop that if we wanted to. There's many, many things we could do to stop and to hold Pakistan accountable for their foreign criminals, like every good country does in the world. But I think, as ever, we are looking weaker and weaker as a country.
If I could just say very quickly, they don't just owe that answer to us. They owe that answer to the victims of the grooming gangs, particularly of Shabir Ahmed, who need to know if they will use the powers they have to force this over the line. They have to tell the victims what they're doing.
And it doesn't seem like that question has been asked anywhere else on the national news today, so it would have been an important one, but there we go.
Charlie, thank you very much.
Thanks, Charlie.
Well, let's take you live to Paris now and show you pictures from the Bastille Day Parade, which is getting underway. It's actually the first time that British troops are standing shoulder to shoulder with French forces for the first time since 2004. It's as part of the Coalition of the Willing, 500 troops from the Coalition of the Willing allies, pledging together to help with Ukraine's post-war security. So as well as the Bastille Day celebrations today, there's also a showcase of support for Kyiv. We're being told that tens of thousands of people are expected to line the streets of Paris, which we can see here already on the screen. That is despite a scorching heat wave in the country at the moment. We've seen forest fires, haven't we, just outside of Paris, but that hasn't deterred the thousands of people that are on the streets right now.
Yeah, beautiful imagery, isn't it? I do love this pomp and pageantry we share with the
and the French do it so well as well.
They do, yeah. Not as good as us, I have to say.
Nobody does it as well as us.
Nobody does it as good as us. But it is nice to see British troops there participating in that. I know many people will go, well, Coalition of the Willing is a bit of a silly way to sort of sell this today. But nonetheless, France are our allies, and it's good to show these share these moments of support together in a beautiful display today. Beautiful display, indeed.
Yeah, it really is. And we did see pictures a little bit earlier on the programme of France's Emmanuel Macron. This is his 10th and final National Day Parade as president, and he was welcoming his Ukrainian counterpart, Volodymyr Zelensky, who was stood beside him. So it's a very significant day for the two of them as well. Charlie Peters is still here with us. Morning to you, Charlie. What do you make of what we're seeing on the screens?
One of the great things we can point out is that the Grenadier Guards will be there. One of our oldest and most distinguished regiments of the Household Division will be part of this parade. And I think perhaps one of the reasons why the French have not had British soldiers marching side by side for so long we're just better than them at it.
I
think, I mean, showing the Grenadier Guards to their day of national celebration, God, it's a big pressure, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're best in the world.
The best in the world.
Very stressful for the French, I think. But delightful that they get to march side by side, and I think there'll be great honour from those guardsmen as well.
And what a warm-up tonight, because of course we've got the game tonight, haven't we? France v Spain in the World Cup. So this is just the start. Bastille Day celebrations in the morning, into the World Cup. But they will hope there'll be celebrations for the French this evening.
Marvellous nationalists further. Useful for them.
That's very true. Although you know what happens in football games in France if it doesn't go their way. And even sometimes when it does, Charlie.
Well, you say that, but I mean, I was in France for the Champions League final when Paris versus Arsenal, and there was huge eruptions of violence and happiness. But then last week, France v Morocco, everyone was worried about violence there. It happened in London instead. Yeah. So who knows these days? Yeah. Maybe we'll see a bit of a France v Spain standoff in the streets of London tonight. Who knows?
Maybe.
Yes, you never know. You never know. Thanks, Charlie.
Thank you.
Beautiful pictures there. We'll bring you those live images throughout the day. All right. Something that you can participate in, though, if you can't be in France, Paris today, is the Great British Giveaway. 60 grand, tax-free cash. It's a gold bar worth over 5 grand. It's a very good prize. And Hayley Sparks, she's here with all the details.
We're celebrating a golden summer, as you could win a totally tax-free £60,000 in cash to spend on anything you like. Imagine all of the fun you could have this year with that. You could spend it on treats, save it for a rainy day, or give you the chance to chill out and relax on the perfect getaway. Plus, we're going to give you a £5,000 gold bar that you could keep, trade, or gift to a loved one and secure their financial future. You really could be enjoying gold and £60,000 cash in our golden summer celebration.
For a chance to win £60,000 in tax-free cash and a real gold bar, text GOLD to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message, or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge, or post your name and number to GB22 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 21st of August. This is a network giveaway. Entries will be pooled. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Yes, good luck.
The Taxi Charity for Military Veterans. We love this charity.
We do. They're one of our favourites.
Yes, absolutely. They will be taking our brave servicemen for a day out at the beach this morning. We're going to hear from them in just a moment. This is well worth the wait. Don't go anywhere.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first.
Well, and that's what you get on GB News. Lively debates, lively conversation.
And we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pearce.
And me, Miriam Cates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
Bold. They are under no illusion. Ray.
Are you a human trafficker?
Boundless. I've had enough of the nonsense, and I'm not afraid to say it.
Don't get this on the BBC.
Every weeknight, I tear through the headlines.
The smell of gasoline. Should we be worried about it?
From Westminster madness to cultural war chaos.
What I'm going to do now is they are throwing things out the car as we speak.
Get ready, Britain. Here we go. Patrick Christie tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m. only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation, isn't it?
No,
because the failure is
you're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back,
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
and we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Jubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m. only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
So he can say whatever he wants.
A straight talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m. weekdays here only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Welcome to Free Speech Nation with me, Josh Howard. This is the show where each week we see what's happening in the world of culture, current affairs and politics.
First we'll say, welcome to the UK. Oh, thank you.
And we're not afraid to use our free speech so that you can use yours.
It's not controversial in the slightest to anyone who hasn't lost their mind.
Free Speech Nation, Sunday nights at 7 p.m. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Some people enjoy lazy Sunday mornings, but not me.
What's the truth of the matter?
So that's a very live question.
Would you support him if he waters down these plans?
Before the spin sets in, I'll be getting to the truth.
This is personal.
No soft questions, no easy answers.
It's one thing if the state has rules in this country. It's another thing whether the police and others actually police them.
Setting the agenda and holding those in power to account.
You can't really blame her if the system is set up this way.
You will not want to miss it, trust me. The Camilla Tominey Show, Sundays from 9:30, only on GB News.
Now, lovely story for you to end the show, because each year the taxi charity for military veterans dedicates a day for London licensed cab drivers to bring veterans for a day out on the coast.
Well, today, 50 cabs will take veterans from London and the home counties to Worthing for a fish and chip lunch, followed by entertainment in the Pavilion Theatre. Beautiful.
Oh, it's a beautiful
Yeah,
day,
really
isn't it?
beautiful.
Well, let's speak now to GB News' national reporter, Jack Carson, who joins us live. Morning to you, Jack. This is a very special day, isn't it? Tell us more.
Morning. It's always a special day. We've been coming for a couple of years now. As you can see already here in the village of South Holmwood, the bunting is up, and take a little look already at some of the refreshments that are here in the morning as these veterans start to arrive. I don't know how long some of these are going to last because they look very, very tempting. This is such a huge tradition, as you were saying. Since 1948 this has been happening, taking veterans down for a well-deserved day out at the seaside, some fish and chips, some entertainment. And there's one man who's been here for every single year. First when he was 4 years old, Ian Fairbrother, who joins us now. Ian, from 1948 to now, this is a tradition that is still alive.
Very much so, yeah. It's a thing that the village look forward to every year. It's just part of a village tradition now. And although there's a lot of newcomers to the village, when they hear what's going on, that someone was so keen to get involved. Others not so much, but it's just part of the village life. It has been for all those years.
And you were telling me that your mum and dad were part of the original kind of organising.
From the word go, because my family have always been involved with village life, especially British Legion, which was the early origins of this type of event. And so I've been involved from that age, and just carried on when they retired, and then my wife took over. My daughters, sisters, everybody in the family have always been very involved. But I say it's not a family thing; it's a village thing.
And why do it every single year? What is it about, supporting those veterans and giving those that chance to have this day out?
Well, just supporting them, because obviously they put their lives on the line. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here, perhaps, or even yourself. So it's just putting something back in and thanking them. Because obviously we've not been in that position, and a lot of them didn't have a choice, but they went anyway, and it's whatever they did that we're here today to thank them.
Brilliant, Ian. Thank you so much for talking to us this morning. As you can see around, some of the veterans already tucking into some of the sandwiches, and I think I have to say I'm going to have to start too. Thank you very much, of course, to the Military Veterans Charity for inviting us here again to be with them today. Stay tuned throughout the day. We're going to be with them as they head off down to the coast for some fish and chips.
Stop nicking their food. Stop nicking their food.
Brilliant stuff, Jack. Thank you so much. Give our love to all of the veterans and that wonderful charity. Thank you.
All right, well, up next is Britain's Newsroom. You two, how are you doing today?
We're all right, thank you.
Good.
Morning. Well, there's a bit of one-upmanship going on in the Commons today. The Prime Minister's coming back from France, away again, to get through over the line the Hillsborough Law. This is the law which makes public bodies be more transparent after the Hillsborough disaster all those years ago when all those Liverpool football fans died. Who was the driving force behind the law? Ooh, Andy Burnham. So he's going to beat him to it. There we go. One-upmanship after the weather.
Expect get warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good morning. It's time for your GB News weather forecast from the Met Office. And now it is going to be another mostly sunny and hot day for many of us, even though at the moment there's actually quite a bit of cloud around. That cloud has come in from the east overnight, but it is generally going to break up and burn away as we go through this morning. Just some lingering low cloud towards some North Sea coastal parts. Lots of sunshine then by the afternoon, and in that sunshine, well, it's going to feel pretty hot indeed. Temperatures generally ranging from highs in the very high 20s, possibly low 30s towards the south, to the high teens, low 20s towards the north. There is still a bit of a breeze, particularly towards some coastal parts. That will take the edge off the heat a little bit. Into the evening, and there's not a huge amount of change, to be honest. There's some low clouds still around those eastern coastal parts of Scotland. Across central and western areas, however, it's a bright, fine end to the day, similar across much of Northern Ireland. Again, still some cloud around those North Sea coastal parts of England, and that cloud is again going to start to push its way a bit further inland through the end of the evening and overnight.